Okay, so last time uh, on Curse of Strahd, we had a bit of a few encounters that happened. First thing that happened was there was this five-armed woman of some kind that went to give Mountain a hug,
And then
and
she was brutally murdered.
yeah, then she was brutally murdered by all those involved.
For good reason.
It didn't go so well for her. But yeah, they kind of found out a little bit about her.
She had
And
a mental disability, and so that she was murdered for it.
pretty much. And then most everybody heard the sound of some kind of fight going on upstairs and went to investigate. And Rocky teleported into the barred room and inside found a bunch of barbarians and a giant direwolf barricading themselves against a bunch of flame skulls. So the group decided to help them out in the fight. They managed to ward off the flame skulls and spent some time talking to the mountain folk. They talked about uh, the creature called the Wendigo and how it kind of makes its home up here in the mountains. They came up here to actually hunt, but then encountered it and had to hide in here and encountered the flame skulls. Normally they wouldn't venture in here unless there was like dire circumstances, because they usually view this place as pretty evil. But seeing you all fight, they considered you as great warriors, and especially since they learned that Duncan carried the spear of one of their tribe's heroes from the past, they kind of figured him for like another incarnation of Kavan, and so they started to, for lack of better terms, view him as like the penultimate hero, really.
Yes.
And so Helwa, the leader, has offered to leave. Let me make sure I got their names right. We've got Maxime, sorry, and we have Natalia are staying with you guys. And everybody else is prepping to leave right now. The barbarians and the direwolf, they're planning to leave with their supplies. Um, but we'll go ahead and go there. Is there anything you guys want to like talk to them about before continuing onwards before they leave, or oh yeah, I forgot one other thing is while they were having this conversation, Rocky kept feeling like this strange tugging on his brain and something like asking for his memories, and then finally he kind of resisted at the very end and it got kind of mad and said it would be back with more of its friends to get the rest
Yeah,
of
I
its
thought that's where
memories.
we ended.
Yeah,
That's where we ended.
that is where we ended.
Well, I don't have anything to talk about.
We didn't take a rest yet, I don't think.
You guys took a short rest.
Yeah,
I never-
we did.
I don't know if we rolled for like hit dice or anything like that because we're all still wounded here.
I did.
I did.
I don't think I'd roll one right now.
Oh yeah, we did. All right, look at that. Yeah, we're good. All right, get these other tokens out of here. Get them out of here. We don't want to see them anymore. They're not going to help us.
Alright, so they are, yeah, pretty much leaving now. So they make their farewells. They head out through the temple rather cautiously, but they proceed to leave.
And I assume this room is no longer on fire.
Yeah, the fire has been put out, thankfully. They leave some of the torches behind just to keep the room lit while you're still in it. But other than that, Maxime and Natalia stay with you.
Is everybody ready? Maybe we should venture forth deeper into the temple.
Rocky nods, stands up.
Ready.
So
As am I.
at this point, it's been about 30 to 40 minutes since you. I'm gonna say it's actually more so like around 40 minutes after your fight with the Flame Skulls.
All right.
I'll open the door and peek out.
Okay. Looking about, you can see with your 120 feet of magical vision, Rocky. You can see this long hallway. It looks like it's about, how far is this hallway? It's about 130 feet long, actually. You can see a large set of double doors at the very far end of the hall to the north. And then it looks like there are 3 separate doors on the left side wall here. There's this one right here to your left. It's about 25 feet into the room. There's another one like another 65 feet into the room, and then another one 105 feet down into the room on the left. And then on the right, there are about 3 of those like archer slits up on this section over here on the right side of the wall.
I'll move forward and take a look out of those archer slips cautiously and see if there's anything moving around there.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Okay. 12, off to a good start.
Okay, 12 is actually pretty good. You can see some kind of small hunched shape, and it kind of skitters. You can see it like skittering down the like it just came from the stairs leading down to the lower area, and it's kind of like it's hard to make out from the distance, but well, actually, since you have magical vision, this is actually like you've got supervision now because you can see just pretty much 120 feet even through like magic. So you kind of just like
Yeah, I can see through darkness.
You've got like keen eagle eyes. This is like it's kind of like hunched over posture, like golem-like figure almost, and just like kind of scrabbles. You can see it kind of like leap a little bit, and then it like skitters down into the hall. Like it looks like it goes into a hallway underneath the level that you're currently on.
On a scale from 1 to 10, what kind of vibe do I get off it? Do I feel like he wants to be friends or no?
Hard to say. I mean, it's just like this weird, strange figure you saw bolting down. Basically, it looks like he came from like.
Makes sense.
It looks like it came from like by the door where you guys were resting, and then skittered down that stairway to go down into like another hallway. You saw it like kind of like it had that hunched golem figure, but you also noticed like these spiny protrusions along its back, and almost strangely, you could sense that it had like only. It looked like from your slight glance at it, like it only had one central eye.
Oh, cool.
I can't say for certain, but I'm pretty sure that that was the thing that was trying to reach into your mind.
I would point and kind of gesture for Duncan to take a look and see if he can see it as well.
What the devil do you want?
So as he points out,
I'll try and...
yeah, he just kind of like points and gestures out the arrow slit for you to see. But looking up, both of you can now see just like an empty corridor down there. It's just like that huge, wide open expanse that you guys are looking at. You can't really see anything all that interesting there now.
I can barely see a foot in front of my face in this place. I don't think that I can see whatever you're asking me to look at.
Do you wish me to cast light
I'll
on
just
top
shrug and
of
turn
vault
around.
again?
I already have it.
As you are in this hallway, Maxime and Natalia are kind of like looking around at battle ready. Maxime just kind of goes over and like kicks at the remains of some of the skulls, and he gives kind of like a worried look over to Natalia, and they kind of start gesturing to each other and talking in their strange dialect once more.
I'm going to check out these doors. Are there any visible markings or anything like that on them?
As you look at the door, there seems to be kind of like this glistening amber coating on them, but no, well, actually, on you might actually be able to make out some writing on this one. Let me see what language this would be in. Yeah, actually, there's writing on this southernmost one on the left in deep speech.
I have Eyes of the Rune Keep, which means I can read all writing because Kanku.
Oh my gosh.
What's it say?
This one reads potion room.
There's probably nothing good in there. Let's just move on.
I'm gonna nudge Duncan and kind of tip my head back as if throwing something into my mouth, and then collect my bead.
I don't have any food for you. I'm running low on rations as it is.
I'll run my finger underneath where it says potion room, and then cock my head to the side and give him a little Kanku smile.
All right, then lead the way. Which one is it?
I will open the door.
Okay. It appears unlocked, so I can go ahead and open that for you.
Let the murder burb inside.
So as you step inside this room, you can see like stone blocks resembling what looks like tables standing in the center of the room covered in dust. There are 2 of these such tables in the room, and you can see carved into the stone walls there are like little niches in the wall filled with hundreds upon hundreds of what looks like dusty bottles. There are cobwebs hanging from wooden ladders that lean against the walls as well, so it kind of like are like, imagine like the little like like the little vaults in the wall in Skyrim dungeons where like normally they have like the bodies lying on them. It's like that, but they're like, instead of dead bodies in those niches, there's like all just lines of bottles all inside of them. And then these ladders are like positioned away so you can like climb up and get to like the higher up ones.
Okay, I'll take a look around and pull out a few of the bottles. Do they have any labels or anything like that on them?
A few of them do have labels on them. Most of the ones that you could see are kind of just like old and kind of withered and evaporated over like hundreds of years of unuse. There seems to be some that like a few empty ones. Let me see what we got here on this first one. Just go ahead and do like an investigation check to see what you see off like first glance.
I would also like to do an investigation check.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
10.
have Selwyn do investigation too.
Okay, and then Maxime and Natalia just kind of like stay watch at like the doors here without entering the room. So 10 from Rocky, 5 from Duncan, 10 from Telwyn. As you look through, there are a few like bottles that you come across that like seem kind of interesting, but then you kind of like shake them and realize that like there's like a little bit of dust in them, some like bits of like dried up ingredients that used to be probably floating in liquid of some kind. You come across some like empty ones of like ones, for instance, would be like is like a Telwyn, for instance. You come across one that says potion of diminution. Duncan, you basically see like kind of like chicken scratch on here. It's hard to read, but you do see you pull across like an empty one that like all of a sudden you're just like kind of attracted to, and then like shake it and realize as dust falls out you see a potion of heroism.
A potion of heroism.
Yeah, but it seems like it's just like little flakes of like dandruff and stuff, like basically what it looks like as it like empties out.
Ew, this looks ghastly.
Can I make an Arcana check, see if Tella knows whether these can be reconstituted or something?
I'll go ahead and allow for that. And then,
Okay.
Rocky, as you're looking around, you see another one that's kind of like, you go through like, you find like a huge section of like ones that like are all kinds of potions of
Holy shit. Well, there's my nat 20 for the night.
With a nat 20, you'd have to find fresh, like some more fresh ingredients to add to some of these, but you would know the process for being able to reconstitute some of these.
So I find a lot of poisons. How do they look? Do they look tasty?
The poisons are kind of just like gross smelling. It just like you take like a whiff of it, and it's like you got like a whiff of like basically like fecal matter. Basically, from what you take like a whiff of this is like your first like intake of breath.
If there are any of these that we would like to take with us and make use of, I actually know how to make them usable again.
Yeah, I'll take like 3 of the bottles of poison.
I will take this potion of heroism because it just has my name written on it.
Do we find any others that look like they'd be worth salvaging?
You can make one more like combined investigation check to see if there's like anything else that looks like still salvageable.
Ooh, I'll make it.
Okay.
This was a bad idea.
If it's a really bad roll, I might want to use Favored by the Gods. It is not a very bad roll.
Okay. Going together, most of these, Duncan and Rocky like continually keep bringing potions over to you to see like, hey, what about this one? What about this one? And you just kind of take a look at them, like, no, there's like nothing left in this to kind of use really. And then after a little bit of searching, like on like some of the higher shelves, you find one actually that looks like it still somehow, to your eye, Telwyn, looks like it's still in usable condition actually without needing anything to it. And oh gosh, this potion. Yeah, I rolled for this, and this is what I got. So you find still in usable condition a potion of flying.
Oh, cool. I know who would like to have that.
No, Duncan will take that immediately.
Actually, I was going to suggest Rocky.
No, Duncan will take it immediately.
Rocky just turns and gives like a hurt expression and just like sighs and pulls out his poison and starts dipping his crossbow bolt into it.
Okay. Alright, you can have the potion.
I make a gleeful squawk and take it and hide it in my cloak. Right next to my love potion. I will offer Duncan a crossbow bolt. Is it just a standard D&D?
Yeah, I'm sending it to you right now, actually.
I have added one to my inventory. But does trying to poison my weapons do anything or no?
I mean, you'd have to like find more materials to get like them salvageable again. But if you dip your weapon in poison, you could, for like a certain amount of time, still deal an additional like poison damage. You're not sure how much you'd be able to do, but you figure you might be able to do like a little bit extra damage with your weapon if you were to reconstitute these poisons once more and dip your weapons in it.
Okay, I don't think Rocky would figure that out, and he just knows to dip weapons in poison. He's just going to dip his crossbow bolts into one of the bottles. It's probably not going to do anything, but he's going to do it. And then he will be prepared with his not poisoned crossbow bolts.
Telvin will explain that she actually needs to work with it a bit for the poison to be usable.
Yeah. And so with a nat 20 on Arcana for these potions, Telwyn, you can pretty much like, you instantly know this is a potion of flying. It's like this strange cloudy liquid, but instead of like settling on the bottom of the glass, the liquid itself just kind of floats on the top of the glass, not touching the bottom of it at all, where there's just air on the bottom. And so you can kind of explain that when you drink this potion, you gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed for 1 hour. But if you're still in the air when the potion wears off, you will fall unless you have some other means of staying up.
The Telvin will suggest that Rocky should be the one to have the potion of flying because, well, first of all, he's a bird, and secondly, he's a monk, and if the potion does wear out, he's able to slow his fall, and he'd be better at surviving using it than the rest of us would.
Fine. Let him have the potion.
Rocky just gives a happy Kanky grin and taps the bottle under his cloak.
You're
Secretly,
welcome,
he'll
Rocky.
issue a slight prayer
Enjoy.
to Desmond.
What was that?
And he'll, like, under his breath, issue the sound of sputtering flame and issue a little prayer of thankfulness to Desna and give a nod to Telwyn. And another one to Duncan.
Well, moving on then. What does this door say, Birdbrain?
Rocky, there is something I've been meaning to ask you today. When we get an opportunity, could you try again asking Desna how things go with Arena?
Rocky will give a nod.
Thank you.
And
I
I'll
can't
try and
stop
see if there's
thinking
any-
about her.
Mount Tan, what are you doing at the moment?
Just kind of standing here, keeping watch.
Okay.
Waiting for them to finish their excursions.
have you healed up?
Hmm?
We took a short rest. It looks like you still are missing HP.
I rolled mine last time. I
Okay.
didn't get to full. It's fine.
Do I see any writing on the second door right here?
On this door, there appears to be no writing.
Rocky will really softly open the door, trying to be sneaky about it.
Okay. As you kind of creak the door open, you can see a smaller hallway before you, leading further western into the temple. Looks like there is another secondary door, but it is the secondary door behind it. So this hallway goes down like 20 feet or so, and beyond that door, you see another open door, and beyond that, what looks like stairs leading downwards.
I don't
think
know
I
if it continued through
did.
that last fight.
At this point, no. Pass Without Trace is not currently up.
Okay.
Natalia and Maxime kind of look down the hallway, kind of with a little bit of hesitation. They're human, so they can barely see anything. They're just kind of looking. They keep like expressing exchange worried gestures, and they're still talking to each other in hushed tones. And they keep looking backwards over at that area where the battle took place, kind of glancing around to the body and then to the remains of the skulls on there.
Duncan,
Rocky-
noticing their reluctance, will boldly stride forward. No, follow me! Don't
Rocky
look
will
back!
go up to one of them, cock his head to the side, and just repeat back what they're saying.
Just the same words that they're saying.
Yep.
They kind of
Just
look
in
at
their face.
They kind of look at you with a confused look, especially since you're repeating it back in the same voice as them. Why you mimic me? The male Maxime just kind of looks at you incredulously.
Rocky just cocks his head to the other side and clicks beak and turns around and follows Duncan.
They kind of look at each other again. They look over at you, Mountan, just raising their hands
He was an orphan. And I gesture my head toward I have my lantern out still.
Okay.
And I gesture my head towards the door for them to go ahead.
Okay, so they'll go in ahead of you then?
Yeah.
I'd like to make a perception check at this next little entrance here, see if I can hear anything,
Okay,
sense anything.
yeah, go for it.
I'm just going to draw my spear and kind of do the same, if that's okay.
Sure. So,
6.
So Duncan and Rocky, you take a look down this hallway. It's a strange, spooky hallway, but other than that, it kind of sounds eerily quiet, almost an absence of actual noise, and it's just completely eerie and foreign to you. Just, it's hard to get a read on like what could possibly be around.
Rocky holds out a hand blocking Duncan from moving forward and gives him just the most serious Kanko expression and slowly reaches into his cloak and withdraws a stick and holds it up like in Duncan's face like this is a stick and tosses it down the hallway.
Is that the regular stick or the one you picked up off the body?
This is a regular stick. This is one that's got no branches. It's just a straight stick.
Okay, so you
I don't think he's going to throw his wand away, no.
you throw it down the hallway. You hear it kind of clattering, click down the steps as it kind of like rolls a little bit and ends at like at the far section down here.
Now tell me, what was the point of that?
The point of that. And then Rocky stands up and strides a bit more confidently down the hallway and picks his stick back up.
I think the point was to draw out anything that might be lurking, waiting for a chance to attack.
Rocky just sort of says, lurking, attack, and then does the it looks like the thing curves around again, and I'll do it the same thing that way.
Okay.
And if possible, make another perception check. If not, that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
5.
With a 5, you hear it kind of clattering down to the bottom, but other than that, not much else. At this point, can I have everybody else roll perception checks too? So we got 17 from Duncan, 17 from Mountain, 19 from Telwyn. Everybody except for Rocky can hear kind of this strangely familiar laughing sound. It's kind of like this slow starting to build up, like it starts off soft and quiet and then it just starts building up again once more. And as you kind of like look back, you notice there's light coming from that hallway.
Behind us or ahead of us?
Behind you.
Okay.
Familiar as in, do we recognize who's doing the laughing, or...
It sounds very much like the flame skulls you fought earlier.
Rocky, get back up here. Get back up here. Everybody, go back through the way we came.
Duncan, do you know if those things regenerate?
There just may be more of them. We
Good.
should spread out. We cannot let it catch us in these confines.
Well, the noise is coming from here. Or down. Back. Right? It's coming back
it's coming
down
back
from
that
where
same
we were.
hallway that you fought them in before. And now you could see the familiar green light steadily approaching as if it's like coming your way.
Duncan will just like squeeze past these people and break out into the hall.
Okay,
Oh.
so you can see now those 3 flame skulls seem to be back up against once more, moving down through the hallway, and they get a lock on you as you step through the door, and they look at you. All 3 of them at the same time start letting out their cackling laugh once more, and they kind of lock on you, Duncan. And they start to, their eyes start to glow as they look at you, and they start letting off their shrill laughter once more, the light building steadily and steadily. What are you doing?
I am bolting down the hall away from them.
Okay, which way are you going? Like,
Northward.
okay.
Can I teleport behind him and try to block him?
Don't, man. I don't want to get caught in that corridor with these things. I just moved half my movement. I didn't. I don't know how far you. I just wanted to go to here, basically.
Okay, as you are going down this hallway, you feel like this cacophonous laughter reach its like pinnacle, and you hear this. You feel even the warmth, something warm burning. And as you look back just in time, you see 3 bolts of fire heading your way, kind of just like these small little arcs of fire just shoot towards you. They're all 3 going to make attacks on you right now, Duncan.
All right.
So these are just normal. It'll probably say with advantage because that's the way all these are set up, but
Yeah, of course.
If I were to teleport behind him, can I give them disadvantage just to distract them or something?
At this
It's too
point
late,
in
man.
time, it's a little bit too late. You are still technically kind of down the hall and didn't hear all this going on, really.
Okay.
I mean, you might have heard Duncan like kind of shout something, so you started like wandering up a little bit, but it wouldn't be enough time to actually make it up here. So Duncan, you head forward. The rolls are 20, a 14, and a 12.
Yeah, I get hit by 1.
Okay, so with the 20, you take a total of 10 fire damage as you manage to kind of like dart out of the way of most of these, and one kind of connects and hits you, kind of like in like the side, like next to like your, kind of like in like a kidney shot almost, and then you feel like the 10 fire damage take hold. And with that, I'm gonna have everybody roll initiative again. Let me pull the initiative tracker up and clear this.
Dude, I cannot roll for shit tonight. I got a 7. A 7.
Well, I hope I
Don't
at least
worry, you
look
did
like,
better than me.
I hope that I at least look like I was, leading the charge. I don't know what is up with my I don't know what is up with my line of sight, because it drops off about halfway down the corridor and then picks up later on. There's a box right where the enemies are that I can't see. Presumably it's because there's presumably it's because there's fire, like the torchlight beyond the enemies, and then like I can't see.
Well, also the skulls themselves emit light too.
Oh, okay.
So, and also Telwyn, you would have been still in the hallway. You would have been in that little hallway with Mountain, Rocky in there as you all went down to there.
Okay.
So you'd
so
probably be like,
where's-
right
Okay.
here, probably, depending on how far.
Okay, just move me wherever I should be.
Okay, should be right around there, I think. Okay, so top of the initiative, Mountain, you are up.
Oh dear. I'm gonna poke my little head out the doorway.
Okay.
Do I see these?
Yeah, you see.
They're there.
You see 3.
How do they look?
I'm
I'm moving so I can see, but I'm still technically in.
They
there.
look exactly the same as like flame skulls you fought before. As you're looking around the hallway, you don't see the remains of the flame skulls you fought at all. These look like to be extremely well conditioned.
Do I see any like cracks in their skulls or anything?
Not that you can see at all. No, it looks like whatever cracks were made during the fight before, because it looks like from the way you can see the hallway, it looks like they are completely. These might be the same ones still, but these look like they have been regenerated back to full.
Okay. I'm gonna turn my head the other way. Duncan, where are you going?
We have to get away from them.
I'm actually
Well,
gonna
we
put some. Okay.
Are you saying you want to forge forward into the dungeon? You want me to come back down to you? I can run.
It's up to you guys. You could fight, or you could just flee.
Well, we were going this way. It's a nice little stairway.
I don't want to get trapped in there with those things. You saw what they did.
I'm sure it leads somewhere.
Okay, so we're technically in initiative. You got 6 seconds. That's pretty much all
Yeah,
you can say
I'm
with that.
I'm gonna say I'm sure it leads somewhere, and then I'm gonna poke my head back in and.
Oh damn!
So what is this again? 10 feet, 5, 10,
Each square is 10
15.
feet.
Alright, I'm just gonna start waddling down.
Okay. Duncan, what about you?
And I will take the run action on my turn, and I just want you to picture that scene where Han is in the Death Star running at that group of stormtroopers, you know, trying to fake them out. Ah!
Okay, and then you just.
I gotta see how far I can move here, so I'm at the door again.
Yeah, that's 30 feet. So do you want to take the dash action?
Yes.
Okay, so you can make it like, yeah, basically right here. Okay. So that's going to take it to the Flame Skulls. They are.
We're dead. We're so dead. We're so dead, all of us. This is the most horrible thing. I should have waited.
They're going to move in and take a look in here. One of them sees you, Duncan. It kind of.
Oh.
It's going to take a look around at everyone around here. So it's.
I'm gonna turn around and say, "Don't forget to close the door."
So one of them targets Duncan. I need to see what the other ones target really quickly. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so you see two of them open up their mouths, and you see these bright sparks shoot forth. A total of about 6 sparks shoot out towards you, Duncan. They're gonna. 2 of them are aiming for you. One of them aims for one of the berserkers. So these missiles streak towards you, Duncan. You see them coming. They kind of like give like this firecracker pop as they shoot through the air and start slamming into you. A total of 6 of them just kind of like hit you, kind of like paintball style, just like pelting you all over. You're gonna take altogether a total of 23 force damage from that. And then the other one's also gonna let loose some.
And that was to Duncan?
Yeah, that one was to Duncan, and this one's to this one actually goes towards Natalia, and she takes a total of 13 force as these missiles hit her. So you see her kind of like start get bolted as well. Like one kind of like knocks her up the side of the head, another one just kind of like takes her on the shoulder, another one hits her in the leg, and she's just kind of like stumbling, trying to get find her footing. Rocky, you're up.
I'm gonna try to get in the front, and I will look towards the one closest to us, and I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame.
Okay.
And
so
you need to make a dex saving throw. I'm gonna move forward and try to get between the people and these guys.
Okay, so he makes a save.
Dex save, yeah, dex save.
That is a 5.
I don't. That
wait,
save.
Just gotta slam that door and book it out of there, man.
So he has advantage on that, but he rolled 5 for both. So yeah, that's just.
And I want to try and slam the door, but that's 1d8. Let me see here.
Closing the door is going to be like a full action. I'm gonna let you know. So like, I'm gonna say like, do you want to do this flame, sacred flame, or do you want to like try and get this door closed?
I'll try and close the door.
They don't have hands, man. They're not like the Raptors, man. They can't open it.
Okay, so
yeah, I'll try and close the door.
In a bit of like a quick move, I'm gonna have you just do like a. Well, I'm gonna have you just do a dex check just to see if you can get it like in time.
Just straight dex?
Yeah.
18.
Okay, with 18, you manage to slam the door closed. I'll put a little bit of a door there. Hopefully that works a little bit. Okay, we're still in initiative right now. They're like they have time. I'm gonna say to like they're gonna still try and probably break through. You can assume. So what are you doing? You still have a little bit of movement left, but being a monk.
I'm gonna stay right there, but turn as a free action and just hiss at everyone to get them to like fucking run away.
Okay, so Maxime and Natalia kind of look at each other. They kind of like nod and they start bolting down the stairs as well.
And I'm just gonna watch Duncan, and that's gonna be my turn.
Okay, Telwyn.
Next time, try letting me turn them. And Telvin saunters off after the rest of the group.
Okay. Are you using dash action or just regular movement?
Just regular movement. She's not really concerned.
Okay, so you can make it, yeah, to either one of these, but not all the way through the door.
Okay, she's just following after Duncan and the rest of the group. She's rear guard.
Okay, Mount 10.
I'm just gonna keep casually walking. I have my staff out. I'm just kind of strolling down with my staff and my lantern.
Okay, and then
Stairs.
Duncan.
I will use a dash action and I will move.
Okay. Alright, I will roll for Flame Skulls to hit door. Okay, so you hear pounding coming from the door. Oh, also, Telwyn, if you can move your character wherever you move to during your turn.
I didn't actually see where everybody else went, so can you ping that for me?
They're just going down that left hallway to the left. So, Rocky and Telwyn, since you're still in this room, you can hear the pounding on the door. You can see flames licking up once more. You can see bits of the door falling in, kind of crumbling. Oh gosh, that actually is enough to kind of open it halfway a little bit.
Since I didn't do anything but move, can I use my action that I didn't use to try to turn them if they come through?
You're gonna have to do that on your turn. If you want to hold your action, you have to let me know that you want to like save your action for something else.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm sleep deprived. I didn't think of it.
So yeah, you can see them starting to like move in closer as there's like this now new hole in the door as they try and move their way a little bit closer. Rocky, you're up. You can see that they're just about through this door. It's not gonna take much. It's basically just like gaping holes in there with a fire's looking away at it.
Telwyn, are you through the door?
Not all the way yet. She didn't use her dash action.
Jeez. Okay. Shit. Hold on 2 seconds. I'm sorry. I had a plan and now it's not going to work because she's still in here.
Okay. Got a little bit of time. What do you
do?
do?
My pass without a trace, is that key points that I can use that for?
Yes, it is.
Okay, now I have an idea. I want to get back where Telwyn is and cast, using my key points, the pass without a trace to increase our stealth, and put up the image of the doorway behind us, just an empty room, so that it seems empty, in front of us with minor illusion. Can I do that? Otherwise, I'm going to do, I think, Arms of Hadar.
Let me take a look. I think Pass Without a Trace is just a full action, and putting up an illusion would also be another full action if I'm thinking right.
Minor illusion I have as a cantrip. I can either cast with key points or with my cantrips from being a warlock.
But I'm saying like both of them are from what I remember, I think both of them
They are both full actions, so you could do one this turn and one the next
turn.
Unless you're a sorcerer and you have quicken.
Then Rocky's going to see that one's not through the door, and slowly turn his head back to the flame skulls and just emit a low growl. And how close are they to me? Are they within 10 feet, would you say?
From where you're at right now?
Yeah.
Before moving?
Yeah.
The closest one is about 20 feet away.
Son of a bitch. I'll just cast Sacred Flame then.
Okay.
And now, with multi-attack, can I cast that twice, because it's a cantrip?
Multi-attack is just for melee only, so it doesn't
Okay.
work with, like, spells.
Then I'll just cast Sacred Flame, I guess.
Okay. So
I
he'll
think
make...
you should have gone for the illusion, man. You should have gone for that illusion.
Well... You could
It's
do...
too late. I'm
it's a
doing
little bit-
Sacred Flame.
Yeah, so DC 12 dex save, so he has advantage. Hold on 1 second. That's a 9, so no, he failed. So he takes a total of 10 radiant damage from this. As you let out your Sacred Flame, you see it hit it straight in the square in the forehead, and you see him like spin around a little bit, cackling madly as he takes the radiant damage, and it starts burning into him.
And then I'm just going to run down the hallway and try to drag Telwyn with me. I can't get all the way, I don't think. Well, I can get through the doorway.
Well, you can't dash right now, but I mean, you have a high movement speed as a monk.
Yeah, I got 45. That'll get me through. If each square is 20 feet, then I can get 45, which gets me to the other, at least halfway through the door.
Okay, so the barbarians use the rest of their turn to get downstairs full. So we'll go to Telwyn. What are you doing? Rocky's kind of gesturing you to get down the stairs.
Can I see all of them?
You can
No.
see, you can see most of them. You can see 2 with a clear line of sight right now.
I'm going to
They're currently
retreat.
about 50 feet away from you. The closest one.
I'm going to retreat, not hurrying, and watching for them, and I'm going to hold my action so I can try turning them if need be.
How far do you want to go down?
I guess I'm just moving my speed. So that would be...
Right at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, okay. And like I said, I'm holding my action this time so I can turn them at a moment's notice.
Okay, yeah, so you get
You
about
said right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mautan, I'm assuming you make your way down the rest of the stairs.
Yep.
Duncan,
Forty.
you're just about at the bottom. Do you want to keep going?
Yeah, I'll do as much movement as I can. Dash.
Okay. So, as you guys look back, you see 2 of them once more. They start to make their way in. You see the one in the rear kind of like take the lead forward and enter into this main hallway.
Now, Telwyn, did you close the door behind you, or did you just run through?
Nobody closed this door yet. Alright, so this one here lets out another insane cackle. His mouth opens. You can see this ball of fire burning in his mouth. He's got one of these left, so he's gonna go for it. You see this ball of fire raging up, building up inside his mouth, and it shoots forward, streaking out. So at this point, I think everybody else is mostly safe. Telwyn and Rocky, you both need to make dex saves, though.
Quick question, is this... Oh, it's a fireball, okay.
So
Natural 20.
Nat 20, Rocky, you just kind of like Matrix style your way out. You kind of like run like along the wall, Neo style, just like kind of like escaping the blaze as it shoots down in there. Telwyn, unfortunately, you holding your action ready are not fully prepared for like this fireball heading your way. You take the brunt of it, kind of just like square in the chest, as most of your armor kind of absorbs it from like doing extreme bodily harm to you, but you still take about 26 fire damage as this connects with you.
Okay.
And then the other ones are going to make their way in as well.
And that's what I was waiting for.
Okay. And then the other two are going to take a look around. So one, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so one shoots off a series of missiles at you, Rocky, and one shoots a series of missiles off at you, Telwyn. So Rocky, this one is on you.
Okay, but don't forget that I held my action so I could try to turn them.
Okay, how far is Turn Undead?
I think it's 30. Let me check real quick.
Because you are currently 50 feet away from them.
Okay, when they get within 30 feet of me, I want to turn the unholy.
Okay, so they are currently still 50 feet away from you. So this first one, you take a total of 10 force damage, Rocky, as these missiles slam into you after hitting, getting like the right amount of like leeway to get away from the fireball. And then Telwyn, a series of missiles. Ah, shield does block it. So go ahead and mark off the spell slot. The missiles kind of like slam into the shield, kind of reminiscent of like all the time Strahd has like put up his shield just at the last instant, blocking all the damage, mitigating it. Same thing from Telwyn. You see this golden aura just kind of like appear in like a sheen of film in between her and the missiles. They just kind of like bombard against it. Rocky, you are up.
Yeah, I'm going to run down the stairs. Can I try to make it look like when I jumped out the way of the firebolt, I like just disappeared? Or like incinerated?
Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check.
$14.
Okay. You're not sure? You try and like hide at the bottom just to kind of like see if it makes sense. So,
well, I'd like to 20, 40, yeah, this is as far as I can get. And then I'm going to cast Minor Illusion.
Okay.
Right in front of me and kind of at the bottom of the stairs to make it look like there's a full set of bodies down there that are all charred beyond anything, that are all dead. So it looks like we're all dead.
Okay. Telwyn, you're currently up.
That's
Are
a
they
horrible
still
illusion.
50 feet from me?
From where you're at, the closest one is about 40 feet.
Just dash downstairs as fast as you can.
Nope, I'm going to advance and turn the unholy.
Okay. So they will make. What's the save they have to make?
Wisdom and the spell save DC is 14.
Okay. So they have.
This is not a spell or anything like that, so they should not have advantage.
They do have advantage on this since it is magical in effect.
It's a spell-like ability.
Yeah. So they do have
Yeah.
advantage on this.
Crap.
So how far up do you move? So if you get about
I
right,
need to be within 30 feet of all of them.
so if you move about here, you should be able to hit all of them.
So now I just have to hope that they fail.
Alright, so
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
the first one. So first one's a nat 20. Second one's a 15. Third one is a 15. So nat 20, a 15, and a 15.
Okay, that didn't work, so...
You let out the words praying out to Saloon, and these words come out and kind of like make like this sheen, this glowing aura that kind of goes towards the flame skulls. You see it kind of like shimmer around them, kind of like making this haze around them, but they just kind of like start laughing once more and look at you and start kind of approaching a little bit. What do you want to do?
Well, with what's left of my movement, I guess I'll start fleeing.
Run!
Okay, so that was about
10, I think.
to get over here. That you spent about 20 feet of movement, so you can get about here.
Okay.
So like right around there. Okay, so Mountain, Duncan, you guys are already downstairs, kind of pretty much effectively fleed from this encounter.
Yeah.
So the
I'm
flame skulls,
super far.
the flame skulls go through once more. They're gonna go
No, Telwyn.
position. They are seeing the shield. They are extremely intelligent, and they still know their spells pretty well. Know that magic missile's not very good here. They are gonna go for. Okay, so one of them's going. They're actually all just gonna just start shooting fire rays. So these are not advantage at all or anything.
Oh my gosh.
So that's 19 on the first one, 14, and 21. So I think only 2 of those hits.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see these bursts of fire shoot out once more from their eyes. You manage to dodge one of them, kind of like duck under it as it goes over your head and hits the wall above you. Second one kind of impacts you on the shoulder. Another one hits you kind of in the stomach a little bit. You're gonna take a total of 21 fire damage there.
Yep, I already subtracted it.
Okay, and then
Telling is still up.
I am going to leave my illusion up and just run the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Full movement, full dash.
Okay, that brings it back to Telwyn.
Well, I guess Telwyn is going to disengage and run for her life.
Okay. With full movement speed, you should be able to get out of this room a little bit.
If I, let's see, disengage is an action.
You're not currently engaged in combat with them. They are still about 20 feet away from you.
Yeah, if you do a dash action, you can make it all the way down. Or most of the way down.
Alright, then I'll use move and dash, get as far as I can. Oh, and I need to slam the door shut behind me.
Okay, slamming the door shut will be a full action.
Just run. Just trust the illusion.
I don't know that Telwyn knows there's an illusion there, does she?
You
She
can
can see it.
It's in full view. Like you'd be running right past it.
Oh, okay.
It basically just looks like
Alright.
everybody's bodies burned to a crisp.
Alright, then we'll hope that it works and just go for running as far as I can, as fast as I can. So that would be 60 feet, I guess.
Yeah. So I'll move you guys down to the next screen. You should be able to find yourselves in the very left part of the map.
Mm.
With that, Mountain, you are up. You'd actually probably be around here.
I would be very far down. My movement speed is 45 feet, and I've gone down the
You'd
stairs.
probably
Yeah.
be right around here then, at this point.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm gonna roll something for the flame skulls. Actually, what do they have to make to notice if these are illusions or not? What's your DC, Rocky?
It's super duper high. 12.
It's an intelligence check save, or
Investigation, yeah.
okay. That is. It's not.
Do they have an advantage?
They don't. This isn't like a resistance they have. They're just investigating. So that's an 11.
Rocky is just slaying with his spells today.
Is that for all of them or just one?
I'm just rolling a collective for them right now.
Oh, thank God.
You see the lights receding. You could hear the laughter start to die off, the cackling as they move away. And you are left in silence once more.
Rocky holds it up for just a couple seconds and then just like gasps and lets it go.
So where you guys find yourselves right now, you seem to be. Let me pull up my notes here. Okay, so you seem to be in another kind of hallway at the bottom of these stairs. There's still more glistening amber coating the walls and ceiling. The hall itself is about the ceiling in here actually I think is about 20 feet tall. Yeah. No, sorry. The ceiling itself is 25 feet high. Set into the walls, each about so like 5 feet up. Like so they're each on like platforms. You could see embedded onto the wall, like just directly in front of you as you make your way down these stairs. You could see these what look like strange golden statues of all kinds. Some of them are statues of there's like you can see different animals of all kinds, like cats, frogs, hawks, owls, rats, ravens, toads. Um, they are just like kind of like standing like guardians along the wall. They're each on like these little 5 foot tall platforms. Mountan, as you stride forward, you kind of see there's some doorways on like the left wall, and then another opening that looks like it goes back out into the main hallway.
Chelwyn is going to cast a quick Cure Wounds on herself, by the way.
Okay.
Well, in the meantime, are we free movement now?
Yes, you are in free movement. You guys can do what you'd like now. So what is everybody doing at the moment? So Telwyn heals herself a little bit. What does everybody else want to do?
I want to check out the statues and see what I can see, and I'm going to leave a stick at the foot of the Raven one.
Okay. So
I'm gonna look down this hall. This one down.
okay. So you also see similar statues. Some of them are like owls. You could see also some of them like various different animals of all kinds. Looks like the hallway keeps going further downwards. I think what's the extent of your vision? Like about 40 feet right now?
Yeah, I think the lantern gives me 30 feet bright and then 30 feet dim.
Okay, so you should have about 60 feet of vision right now.
Mhm.
Okay.
I would like
So you
to
can see just
have.
like the hallway continues going northward farther than you can see at the moment. But yeah, as you guys go down here, this southern wall over here, you can see there's a door. And then further up north, Rocky, you can see along the left-hand wall there are other doors leading into rooms of some kind.
I would like to have Duncan take his potion of healing and just knock it back, just to regen a little bit here.
Okay, go for it. So Duncan takes out his potion, just takes a swig, just like a nice shot of healing potion. What does everybody else want to do? So you guys can move around as you see fit right now. You're not in like combat or anything.
I think I'll investigate these niches here. And you said that they're gold.
They look gold at first, but upon further inspection, it looks like they're still made of like that same amber material, kind of like a lighter sheen to them, like similar to the same color. I mean, basically, they look like they're made out of like the same stuff as like Jurassic Park, like the little resin knob on his like staff on a Hammond staff.
Yes.
They look like they're made out of like that same material. They're like translucent and see-through. Even it looks like they were carved from it.
All right, I'll roll an investigation check on these ones down here.
Okay. What do you want to like see about them in particular? Just like anything out of the ordinary, or just like?
I mean, any writing, any hints to their purpose, anything just out of the ordinary about them.
Okay. I could also say if you want, you could also roll a religion check on these.
All right, I'll do that.
As you look on them, they appear to be just, I mean, very well carved, very well detailed, and whoever made them. Not sure what their purpose or function would be in general. They just seem kind of, to you, they seem decorative, really. What does everybody else want to do?
I'm gonna drop down and just issue a quick prayer to Desna for guidance, and think about the Taroka readings, and think about Arena, and see if I can get any sort of direction from there.
Mountain, what are you doing?
What's this door?
Just looks like a closed door.
There's no like there's no like inscriptions
Doesn't
or
seem to be any
anything.
inscriptions on it that you can see.
Is it locked?
You could try it.
Yeah, just fiddle. I don't want to like open it. Just kind of fiddle and knob and see if it's unlocked
Yeah,
or anything.
as you kind of like twist the knob, you can see it feels like it's not locked. Could open it.
I'm gonna give it a faint wrap on the wood or whatever it's made out of, and kind of peek it open.
I'll slowly scoot it to the side for you. So, as you take a look inside, you could see this room looks like it was once a bedchamber. It's littered with broken furnishings scattered around the room, or looks like there's the remains of some kind of bed in here. It's not nearly as destroyed, like everything's not like ripped up like it was in that other room with like the woman in it. Here everything looks like it's just kind of like fallen into decay and disrepair, like it just hasn't been taken care of at all. You can see scattered about the room are remains of a bed, a wardrobe, there are 2 trunks, 3 tall candlesticks, a desk, a bookshelf, several chairs, there's a bunch of torn up books, tattered clothes strewn about, and as you kind of like wander your way around, you can see like lying in the debris kind of covered with some of like the tattered books, like almost hard to notice at first. You just kind of like stumble over it. You see there's just like this skeleton in the room, just kind of lying flat on its stomach.
How many arms does it have?
It has 2 arms, just 2.
Poor lad. Close the door.
Okay, no investigation or anything. You just
It's a dead person.
okay. So you just close it on up.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to look at this door right here and see if I see anything.
No inscriptions or anything. Just a closed door.
I'll just give it a little peekapoo.
Okay, so you nudge that one open as well. You can also see in this room, looks like also old abandoned bedroom of some kind. There's some like painting materials here and there. It looks like somebody was like in their free time did like sketches and paintings and things like that, kind of all covered around. You can see like an easel and a chair set up in here. Bits of like scattered dried paints, just like kind of old with age everywhere. That's what you see in there.
Do any of the paints look kind of usable?
From what you can see, the paints seem to be just kind of like dried up with age, not like they'd be any use once more. Maybe with like a little bit of water, possibly, but it looks doubtful.
Well,
it looks like there's some good like it looks like there's some lovely like paintings and sketches of whoever was in here from before, but it seems
I will
kind of
take
abandoned.
those.
Okay, you see kind of like you see like serene like pictures of like the mountain valleys, like someone like painted like snowscapes, someone like it looks like one's like a viewpoint from the top of the mountain painting like the whole valley itself, like they just stood on top of the mountain and painted the valley. Like it's really excellent work, whoever did it.
Yeah, I'll take those and stuff them into my cloak carefully to make sure that they're preserved. And then I'm going to take my own ink, and on the easel, is there paper on it?
Looks like there's like frayed bits of paper. Yeah. The
I want to
easel's,
draw.
Like, right over here.
Okay, I want to draw a butterfly to make this a symbol of Desna, and then do an investigation check to see if I can see anything else. If that's okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put you over there. Well, yeah, go ahead and roll an investigation. Well, as you like, all of a sudden,
4.
you hear like breathing behind you, and like you didn't even like notice it at first, but like now just standing behind you is like this wispy, floating figure of some kind. It's hard to like even make out a face on this thing. Hold on, let me get like a good description on this guy. He basically looks like tattered. It looks like black tattered scraps of like, it looks like paper almost, like this wispy floating strands of paper and parchment just like floating around. You could see this dark face. It looks like he's made completely out of like this wispy smoking parchment as he's just kind of floating in the air. You can see where there should be legs, it just kind of like trails off, and you can see like the paper kind of fluttering about, and if there would be a breeze it would be normal looking, but you notice now that there's no breeze at all in here, no moving wind of any kind, yet he's blowing around. His like the papers are kind of like trailing around and blowing as if they're in like wind themselves, and he's just kind of staring at you, kind of breathing heavily.
I will pull out the art that I have just stolen from the mysterious room and point at it, and then at the ghost and cock my head to the side, asking if he's the artist.
Oh, you pull out the art?
Yeah.
You have my collected works.
Rocky gives a bit of a smile, and hands it out to him, and gives him a very big thumbs up, trying to indicate that it's very good.
Yes. This was. I remember. And at this point, where is everybody else at the moment? Everybody's still kind of like investigating the hallways and everything.
I was gonna have
just-
my guy investigate his door down here when it was
Okay.
time to.
I'm just continuing walking. I'm at this next door now.
Okay. That's
Trolling is just being rear guard.
okay. Oh, I also forgot to put our friends on this floor. We'll say one of them moved along with you, Rocky.
They scared shitless right now.
He kind of like has a hand. It's Maxime. He kind of has his hand on his axe, just like at the ready. He's like, kind of like shaking nervously, like he's not used to dealing with ghosts. It seems. The ghost figure before you, Rocky, just kind of looks around the room, kind of with like a sad look in his eyes, and he goes over to his desk and starts rummaging around with some of like the leaflets on the table. Where is it? Where's my... I cannot find it.
I will walk over to the desk and pull out my paper and my quill, and I will write down, I like your picture, what I'm looking for, with a question mark.
He showed me wonderful things. I painted what he showed me, and oh, the sweet, wonderful nothingness that he played before my eyes. I need to find the works again. And he's kind of like scrambling around looking for whatever he can find in here. It looks like, to you, what it looks like, Rocky, on these paintings that he's going through, they just look like scribblings of a madman. You could see contorted, twisting faces, kind of like, you know, like the Screamer painting?
Yeah.
Kind of imagery like that, with people just like shocked, horrified looks in their faces. Some of them appear to be in like this deep abyss of some kind, drowning in like tar. Some of them are surrounded by just like gnashing teeth. Others are just like, you see one where like it's just a man, it looks like, and he's just being pulled by just thousands of hands into this dark black pit.
Okay, it's really quaint stuff. Rocky will write on "want help" with a little question mark.
At the moment, he doesn't seem to be paying attention to you. He's just looking frantically through these paintings and sketches. He's just tossing them about here and there. Must find the work.
Rocky will grab everyone that he tosses up and kind of like tuck it into a stack with all of his other work. And just kind of like look over and just kind of give like a nod of approval for him, and then kind of look around and see if he can find it. Can I do another investigation check to help him look?
Yes, you can.
12.
With a 12, I think that should... Well, you see a lot more of like the same paintings from before. I think with a 12 you would be able to find this, because he's kind of moved aside a lot of the stuff that you've already, that he's already kind of sifted through, and you do see one that kind of stands out, and it just like, as you look at it, it just makes you shudder with just this sense of dread. You're not sure where this sense of dread is coming from. You just feel this cold, almost like the absence of, like, you felt like positive energy of healing from like healing spells and things like that. This feels like the exact opposite, where it's just like this draining cold overtaking you as you just look at this picture. You see thousands upon thousands of mangled corpses being just kind of stepped on, as like they're kind of like holding up someone aloft, just kind of like in gestures of deference and like servitude. And you see this giant figure, some kind of monstrosity. He looks humanoid in appearance almost, but he's got like these cloven hooves, these giant bat-like wings, and where his face should be is just this gnarled, twisted skull. You could see rotting flesh is hanging off the body of this figure, and he's got these long curling horns that just kind of curl around his head, and he just has like these dark piercing eyes that just like, as you look in them, it just kind of pierces into your soul. You could feel like it's staring at you, learning from you. And as you look into the painting, you can almost hear voices talking in your head. At first it sounds like a cacophony of screams from thousands of people all at once, and you hear a deep rumbling voice along with it. You all serve to. You all exist to serve me. In life, you
Seems
served
legit.
me. In death, you served me. Beyond your death, you will always serve me. You. Rocks falls as it looks at you. Now, you can like almost swear that you can see the painting moving, its mouth like it's talking to you directly, Rocky. This one has failed me. You must free me.
I'm gonna grab my paper and my quill, and I'm write down, and I quote, gotta go, bye, and show it first to the ghost and then to Sergeant Sassy Pants in the picture, and then point to the door and hope that what's his bucket comes out with me, because I am noping out.
So you're trying to hand this off, right?
Yeah.
As you try to hand this off, I need you to make a wisdom save.
I feel like we bit off more than we could chew in this place, man.
19.
19 is just enough, actually. You feel like this command come over you, almost like it's commanding you to not release it, demanding you to venture further into this temple, but you immediately just like, nope, and you just hand it off. It goes into the hands of this man in tatters. You can hear the voice still in your head. You, the unworthy one. And he's looking down at it. Yes, master, what can I do for you to show my appreciation? And Rocky, you just kind of start booking it.
Yep.
Maxime just looks at you at the same time. He's like, yeah, I agree. Let's get the fuck out. And he just like bolts with you out. And he's gonna like, Maxime's gonna like try and close this door because he does not want to deal with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I'm out before this sucker closes me in here with this crazy motherfucker,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get out too. Just kind of, if there's anything that needs to barricade that door, I'm gonna barricade it and just kind of look at anybody that's there. Specifically, if I can see Duncan, I'm just gonna shake my head no. But I'm keeping all of the art.
Fire. Let's light it on fire.
And I'm gonna add it to my inventory.
Okay, so I'm gonna close the door if you want to like move your character out of there.
Yeah, I mean, ghosty friends seem pretty chill at first. He's getting a little crazy.
While this is all going on, can I knock on and open this door?
Okay, you give a knock, No sound from behind, and as you try and like fiddle with the handle, you can see it's kind of locked in place.
No.
Like you can see a keyhole on there. Doesn't seem like it's openable unless it was picked or if you had the key for it. Duncan and Telwyn, what are you doing?
I would like to use a perception check for this door here,
Okay.
and I would like to look inside.
Okay.
I just want to like listen through to hear if there's anything first.
Okay.
Telwyn is just being rear guard,
All right.
and one of my cats just knocked over a bookshelf, so I need a couple of minutes.
Oh my God, it sounds like a big cat.
He is 23 pounds, and none of it is fat. He's a very big, muscular cat.
It's a tomcat.
Yes, he is.
All right.
Anyway, I have a disaster to clean up. Be right back.
Duncan can't seem to hear anything beyond. Nothing that you can hear back there.
I would like to try the door very carefully.
Okay. Seems to be locked when you try and fiddle with the handle.
So I'll just shrug my shoulders and make my way back up to the very distraught Rocky.
And
Any luck in your door?
Rocky's like nods a little bit and then shakes his head no, like, yes, there was luck, don't go in there. And kind of taps the door like it stays shut.
as you are having this conversation, Duncan, Rocky, you can hear voices coming from that main giant area that you were in before when you first came downstairs. Like when you first entered the temple and went downstairs. You can hear voices coming from that way, so like over to the right. Just kind of like, Rocky, you instantly actually recognize this voice as the one that was in your head earlier, except now, Duncan, you can hear it too, and it looks like Maxime and Natalia can hear it too. They were up there just a little while ago, I swear. And the other one, sure, I'm sure they were. You lying as usual. There's no people in here. Nobody comes here.
Duncan will throw up a hand and tell everybody to be quiet, and then gesture for them all to advance slowly up to the corner. And he'll do his best to get Mautan's attention as well. I don't know how I'd do that.
I would like cast, now this is up to you, DM. Because Duncan is leading, I want to gesture everybody to be stay like right behind him. Cast the image of the back wall behind us on Duncan. Using minor illusion.
Casting a wall?
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Is that it doesn't take a spell slot, does it?
No, it's just a cantrip. I just want to make it like there's nothing there, so even as you progress, it looks like just a back wall.
Okay. So as you like climb against the wall, the Maxime and Natalia kind of like go with, and you kind of gesture over to Mautan, just kind of like trying to get his attention that there's people coming. Mautan, what do you want to do?
Oh, can I see them from over? I don't think I can see them.
It's kind of hard to see actually from this.
It's
Duncan,
it gets dark right here.
Yeah, Duncan, you can't even see them. Rocky, you can see Mautan, but.
Right. I'll stow my light just so they notice it, and I will pull out my crossbow and I'll just get ready to kind of like hold these people up, you know, like kind of jump out at them and yeah, that kind of thing. Like. Okay.
You can see 4 figures kind of like crawling around, like hunch style, just kind of like kind of on like the haunches of their, or kind of just like on like their feet, and also kind of like their hands kind of like moving forward, just basically walking Gollum style around. They just kind of be holding conversation with each other. With this illusion, I'm gonna have you guys just roll stealth. Rocky, since you're like casting illusions up, I'm gonna say go ahead and you guys roll stealth with advantage. So Rocky and Duncan roll stealth with advantage. We're gonna just fade Telwyn out for right now since she's just back in the guard, and then I'm gonna have the barbarians roll with advantage as well.
I'm gonna peek through this open door.
Now,
10 and 6
just when we can, I'd like to. Well, I'll wait until it gets started. I have a surprise attack plan.
Yeah, I want to just try and like hold these guys up. You know, I want to say like freeze. You know, that's kind of what I want to do, just to see if we can not fight them, if we can just kind of.
Okay, so they start to go along the hallway. Mautan, as you're looking in this next room, let me see what you see over here. So while this is happening, Mautan, you see this room looks like the walls are also made of amber in here, and the floor looks like it's made out of like a polished black marble. Almost like it's so polished to the point where like you could even see like your own reflection in it. You could see two sarcophagi made of amber kind of standing in alcoves to the west and the east, and then what looks like there should be a third one in the north, but it looks like it's shattered and busted open, like whatever was in it just kind of clambered its way out, and like, or like something broke it basically, but it looks like it's kind of shattered from like the way that the pattern is. It looks like it was shattered from the inside. But yeah, that's what you see in here.
Looks like information everyone else should know.
And as you're going forward, you can hear this talking once more, and you can see kind of like dimly shapes kind of like moving. Actually,
So
at this point, they actually have really good vision, so they can see you.
Duncan, I can barely see.
Yeah.
They're like at the very edge. Duncan, Rocky, Telwyn, is that you?
Wait, hold up. Who are you? Who are you? And
My name.
as you get a little bit closer in view of the light, you can see these hunched figures. They all have like these spiny protrusions coming out of their back. Each one has like a single green eye in its center where it should have the normal two eyes. It's just one giant green eye, and they have like these wide, toothy mouths that are just unnaturally wide against their face. So like normally where like the mouth should end, it just keeps going backwards. So it looks kind of like they have this strange grin on their face at all times.
I'm going to fold my hands together. Give a bow. My name is Mao Tan. What are your names?
Names? We had names once. Wait. He looks kind of confused, and he kind of like looks around, kind of like cocks his head a little bit, looks back at the others. Did we have names before? One of them kind of like scratches his head and starts thinking, I don't know. Seems familiar. One in the back just goes, "What's a name?" And then Rocky and Duncan, you could hear this conversation going on as well.
Did
I
you
just,
see what Duncan posted?
yeah, I want to do know your enemy just to kind of, while we have a chance to look at these guys and observe them, I just want to
Okay.
take them in.
What kind of characteristics do you want to know?
Particularly, I'd like to know their armor class, whether it's superior or less than, obviously, and their. I gotta think of the last one I want here. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. What's your armor class, Duncan?
16.
It looks like, in regards to you, their armor class is slightly weaker than yours. Not by much, but just slightly weaker than yours.
And their strength score. Mine is negative, or mine's 8. My strength score is 8.
So in terms of armor class, they look slightly less armored than you would be, but in terms of strength, they look significantly more strong than you.
Okay.
That brings up a point really quick. I'm so sorry. I should have done this pre-session. Is my strength still reduced by the shadows?
No, it's not.
So it should be 10, I think, right?
I believe so. What
Okay.
did it get reduced
That's
to? Because I think
beautiful.
it got reduced by either like 3 or 4.
It was. I had 8.
Okay. Are you sure it wasn't 12 or 11? It might be 10.
I'm not sure. I can give myself 12. I mean, that sounds about right. I'll see if I can find out.
Okay. I also should have marked down how much I told you to reduce it by as well, so that's my fault too.
No, that's why I should have taken better note.
That was like a few sessions ago.
I know, I've just kept it at 8 this time.
I would like to, just before we continue this, I want to prepare a reaction. So if they make a move, I'd just like to level my crossbow and just be ready to shoot, kind of.
Okay.
So if they try anything funny, kind of deal.
I would like to do the same. I would like to vapor teleport behind them.
Okay.
You're already behind him, man.
So you're prepared to just kind of like teleport a little bit closer behind them. They are casting shadows as Mountain's kind of like shining a light in their direction. And you yourself are already in the shadows over here. So Mountain, yeah, these guys are before you, kind of talking to you. They're kind of like arguing about amongst themselves, like asking like, do we have names? And like one of them's just like, what's a name?
I'm gonna kind of lean in a little bit with my lantern. Well, a name is a very special thing that people or everything really has that describes them in some way or form. It's a way that we are able to address each other. Sometimes names have very special meanings.
Why go to that trouble? Why not just say, hey, you?
Well, because if there's, for example, if I look at you guys and I say, hey, you.
Yes.
Do you know which one I'm talking to?
As you say, hey, you, they all at the same moment go, yes.
See? Now, if I'm gonna point to like this front one, if your name was Javert, I would say, hey, Javert, and you would know exactly who I'm talking to.
Javert. But I don't understand. He kind of like shakes his head like confused.
Names are very silly.
This seems important. Yes. This is new knowledge. And they kind of like look at each other excited. You have lots of knowledge?
I have many things that I know, yes. Would you like to learn more?
They all like look at each other just like wide-eyed. Like they look like school children now, just like the amount of glee on their faces. And they all kind of just like start crowding around you, Mountain.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just like Disney princess style, just kind of like go down on my crossed legs and just kind of sit down as they.
They also proceed to sit down around you, like kind of
And
looking
I'm gonna
at you.
set my.
They look at you. They just look at you intently, like eager for any information that you could give them.
And I'm gonna set my lantern down. Now, let's see things that I know. Well, how about we start? Since we're on names and whatnot, my name is Mautan, like I said. I am Aarakocra. Do you know what an Aarakocra is?
No, they all say in unison.
Well, an Aarakocra is a very is a bird. Do you know what birds are?
Yes, we got that from someone who came in here before. Yeah, we took that from his head.
Yes. Yes. So they're birds, but they're like people who can talk. They're birds that can talk and walk and do other things besides normal bird stuff.
Ah, like us.
Yes.
We talk.
Yes. You talk and you see and you can think.
They kind of like think about that for a second. Yes? Kind of like with a questioning look.
Yes. Yes, you can.
So you just kind of like start like.
I'm just gonna start.
Information. Rocky and Duncan, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna tap Duncan's arm and then kind of give him a thumbs up, and like slowly change it to a thumbs down, and cock my head to the side, like curiously and confusedly.
I have no idea.
Rocky shrugs, and you watch just this wicked grin start to spread across his face as he draws his spear.
Oh, hold on now. Just don't be hasty. They don't seem like they're going to harm him.
I would say, seem like.
What I'll do is I'd like to have Duncan sneak a little closer. Or better yet, if there's any way for me to kind of like, because they're looking at him right now,
yeah,
right?
Their attention's like focused on him.
I'd like to kind of subtly get Mautan's attention in some way, maybe like because I have a crossbow bolt that has like the light spell on it. Maybe I just like hold it out for a little bit and wave it in the sky to kind of like catch his attention. Hopefully he gets a signal and I don't even know if we'd make a roll for that or something like
I
that.
mean,
I
if
just
he's waving around a shining
Yeah,
crossbow
yeah,
bolt,
he'd be able to see it since he's looking your direction anyway.
I look up and I see Duncan waving this crossbow bolt, and I wave. Hello,
And I just-
Duncan.
damn it.
They look back, kind of see you waving around.
That is my friend Duncan. See, I am able to tell who it is because I know his name.
Duncan will just like face palm visibly, just like rub his
Rocky
whole.
is too, but invisibly behind my thing.
One of them just like starts pointing at Duncan and like starts tapping on, like kind of like excitedly tapping the shoulder of one of the other ones. That's one of the ones. That's the one that I couldn't see his head.
I have a question, actually.
Yeah.
When I cast Minor Illusion, it was on Duncan.
So
Would it have moved with him?
no.
Oh, I thought that it was like across this position here.
It doesn't move locations. It's like stationary.
Okay.
Like I thought you made a wall. Like, see where I have my marker here? I thought you just made like a wall like that.
No, that's fine. So I'm still hidden. I can kill him.
Yeah, it's
That's
just kind of like a
Continue,
stationary thing.
so-
He's kind of like moved past the illusion.
You were trying to look into my head?
The one that was like kind of like pointing you out was like, yeah, didn't work. You keep everything too close guarded.
I do. Do you not think that that's a breach of our privacy?
I don't understand the question.
Never mind. Never mind. Mautan, are you okay with these gentlemen, these things?
Oh yes, they are quite friendly and very, very fun to talk to.
I see.
They look you up and down, Mount 10, once more. What are the purpose of these? And one just like starts like, he reaches like a hand out and like starts like trying to maneuver your wing a little bit.
Ooh, this is called a wing. Can you say that back to me?
Wing.
Wing. Very good. Now, birds and some other creatures have things called wings, and they allow them to fly. Do you know what flying is?
Yeah, it's when you float.
Yes, it's like walking, but like with air. Watch. Would you like me to show you?
Yes, they all say in unison. They're just all talking in unison right now at this point.
And I'm gonna start flapping my wings and fly up into the air, and then I'll stay up there for a little bit, and then I'll...
They just kind of like look at you dumbfounded, and like one of them just like is not sure what to do, and like all of a sudden he just like starts clapping.
And then I'm gonna slowly descend and then land back in my cross-legged position.
You know, it's fun, don't you think? It's fun learning all these things from Mautan. Don't you say?
Yes, he's much more forthcoming with his information.
Yes, you know, maybe we could come to some kind of mutual agreement. Is there perhaps a chance that you could answer some of our questions about this place?
They kind of like think about it a little bit. The one in like the front closest to you just kind of like is scratching at where his chin should be. You notice he has like, instead of 5 fingers, he just has 4 fingers, and he's just scratching. Knowledge for knowledge. You give us something, we give you something.
Now that
yes.
sounds very fair, Javert.
So that's exactly what I was thinking.
And they all look at you. Mountain. Which one was Javert again?
This is Javert.
Okay.
And would all of you like names?
They kind of like think about it for a second. If it means something important.
Names are very important. Now let's see. You're Javert. You, would you like to come up with your own names? They can be anything.
Anything?
Anything you want. Whatever is important or valuable or means something to you.
And the one next to Javert just like kind of looks around and like he sees like a little like cracked stone just on the ground. He picks it up. My name will be Stone. And he kind of holds it up.
That's a great name.
And the one at the bottom was like, hey, I was gonna take that name. My name's Stone too.
What if we called you Stone A? Yeah, it's a fancy version of stone.
Stone
Oh
man.
gosh. Oh gosh, he's making names for them now.
Or do you know what all this yellowy stuff that's coating the walls is?
What's
It's called amber.
Amber.
Your name could be Amber.
It's different than Stone's name. So sure.
Yes.
And you there on the left, your name shall be Skippy.
Skippy. What is Skippy? It just kind of looks
I
at you
don't know.
curiously.
It's just a very, very common name.
If it's common, is it not important?
Well, nobody around here is called Skippy, so it would be your name.
So nobody has this name.
Yes, nobody has the name Skippy. Not here.
Ooh, I'm the only one with the name Skippy. Yes. So I don't know if it shows up now, but I titled all their names in there for you.
We have Javert, Stone, Amber, and Skippy.
Okay, what else do you want to do now? They're just all looking at you, just enraptured.
So, I gave you all names, and I've shared quite a bit of information with you. Would you mind telling my friend Duncan, answering some questions for my friend Duncan?
Okay. He's like trying to count out on his fingers, and he's like, He looks down at his 4 fingers. He's trying to count out how many answers he has to give.
Well, we'll start with one at a time. How about that? Just one.
Oh, okay. What's the question?
Duncan just stops and thinks for a second. I didn't think this far ahead. And he'll just kind of like look to Mauton for like help if there's anything that he thinks he should know.
Is there any any powerful magic items or things deeper in the temple?
Oh yeah, lots of things, Javert says. He just like kind of like slaps his knee.
Oh, very good. Do you know where these are?
Different rooms, things like that. There's the big treasure room, but the statue kind of tries to smash you if you do that.
Big treasure room? Can you show us where that is?
Yeah, but I'm not going near the statue if that's what you want me to do.
No, just if you can just show us how to get there.
Is there any way to get by the statue?
Run fast? He kind of like says confusedly.
Duncan is very good at that.
Yes.
I was looking in the room just up here, and there looked like a smashed thing in there. Do you know what that's about?
Well, there's Javert's like kind of like thinking a little bit. There's a lot of things that live in the what did you call it again? And Amber just like pipes up, my name, remember? My name. Oh, yes, what's your name again? And Amber just goes, Amber. He goes, okay. There's things that live in the Amber. That one. Some time ago, there was a very nice man who came in here. Yes, he was talking to it. Very nice man. He said he had many things in store for this land. He spent lots of time talking to it, and I guess he did whatever inside wanted him to do, because then he got his powers that it promised him, and then he let it go, and it broke its way out, and now it's it goes wherever it wanted to go, I think.
Very interesting.
Yeah, really nice guy too. I think he had a name. That's where I've heard that word before. He said something about having a name too.
Yes, well, lots of people have names.
Do you remember what his name was?
he's just like kind of like straining his brain, just trying to think of it. He's just like trying his hardest. His eyes like almost popping out, but just like how hard he's trying to think of it. I'm gonna just do a memory check just to see if he remembers. I think actually. Oh, that's a 19. So, that's right. Yeah, it was that nice guy Strahd.
Strahd, you say?
Yeah, tall guy, had like this flowing rug on his back. Big pointy sharp thing that stabbed people. I don't know what those are called, but I know they stab people.
Ooh, a sword.
That's a good name. You should become a namer.
Oh, I never thought of that. That is a very good idea.
Yeah, I wish I had thought of the name Sword. Skippy, this is Skippy talking right now.
Oh gosh. Oh wait, how long ago was Strahd here?
Long? How you mean?
I asked that out of character. I didn't know if he mentioned it or not. Yeah, like I missed the context of when they ran into Strahd.
They never said any like particular time. They just said like at some point some guy was in there talking to whatever lived inside the amber, and apparently he must have done whatever it wanted, because then it gave him, according to this guy, it gave him powers, and then it allowed him whatever was inside to leave the amber.
Do you remember what Strahd said to this thing?
Well, most of them, if you talk to them, they want you to do something for them. You know, some of them, they want you to, like, kill your friend. Some of them, they want you to just, like, get an artifact for them. Some of them, they just want you to just, like, live your life. They all want different things. I don't know if I remember talking to that one ever.
This is rather peculiar, and you say that it's things that are stuck in amber, much like these things here on the walls.
These things. Oh. And he kind of like goes over and like starts like touching one of the amber carvings. Yeah, like these. Except the ones in the rooms have things inside them. You know, I think the things inside them have names too. They always said like I'm so and so. I'm this. I think those were names.
That sounds about right. You're so smart. I'm gonna ruffle him on the head.
He kind of just like, you know, like when you like pat a dog and he's like really into it and he's just like leaning into it. He's basically just doing that right now.
I don't even know what to make of these. I don't even know what to make of these things.
Javert's counting on his fingers once more, and he's like, "How many questions was that?"
I think that was 3.
3, and he like lowers one finger. 3, and he holds up the 3 fingers to you, Duncan.
Now go on then. You may ask of our friend here, Mautan.
Usually, I never have asked for a question before. I usually just take it. He's just like kind of like holding his hand to his chin, just like not knowing what to do in the situation, because he's probably, you can like kind of ascertain that like he probably has never really asked like an actual question. He's more so used to just like taking it from somebody. I usually just look in someone's head, and then whatever's there I just see, and then I'm like, oh, that's mine now.
Would you like to look into my head?
Oh, yeah. Never had anybody ask before.
Well, we're friends, aren't we?
Is friends good?
Friends are very good. Friends help each other. and talk to each other and have fun together, and we'll share with each other
Then yes, friends.
and help each other out.
Then friends.
Friends.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna say, like, you just willingly fail the save, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you feel him just like kind of like, it feels like something like reaching, it almost feels like something's touching your brain, just like you feel like this weird sensation, like something's sifting through it, and you could feel like another consciousness in there. What's the first thing you think of then?
Oh gosh, I don't know. If we just mentioned friends, I'd probably think about my friend from the temple, from the monastery,
Hmm. This, I, this person,
Kiri.
this is, she has a name,
Yes,
and this is what you called friend?
indeed, she was my best friend.
Hmm. Best friend. So they were like the best at being a friend?
At being my friend, yes.
Hmm. I
See,
like being the best.
there's best friends. Those are the ones that are very close to you and you share everything with, and you know everything about them.
Javert is just like enraptured right now. So you, when you have a best friend, you just know everything about them?
Yes,
Oh, that's a lot of things to know.
indeed it is.
Hmm. And they just look around at each other. How come you never tell me everything you know? Javert's just like looking at Skippy right now. And Skippy's just like looking around at Amber. And just like confused, like, I don't know. I, um, okay. Uh, do you want to look in my head, Javert? Skippy just says, oh, this is new. Asking to read people's minds instead of just taking it by force.
Sometimes when you ask for permission before you do things, you get even more help and you learn even more things.
Asking permission before doing things. What a strange concept, but strange, oddly, it seems fun. Skippy, can I read your mind? Skippy just like gives him a smile, like, sure. And you just see them like looking around, and then Amber turns to Stone, is like, Stone, can I read yours? Stone's like, I don't see why not. And they just like, you could just see them like all looking at each other, just like kind of like sifting through each other's minds, and they're just like, oh, I remember that, and oh, yeah, that day that happened.
I think at this point, my oh geez, yeah, my illusion only lasted a minute, and so we're just in plain sight.
At this point, they've kind of like have lost themselves in reading each other's minds. They're kind of just like not even paying attention to you guys anymore. They're just like so enraptured by like asking each other if they can read each other's minds, and just like being bewildered that that was like even an option in the first place.
Listen, I'm sorry to interrupt you, you gentlemen, or you things, whatever you are. But perhaps you could point us in the direction of this treasure room that you've informed us about.
Javert just like, oh yeah, um, I'm just gonna point you. I'm not gonna go near the statue though.
Yes, of course.
Okay, Skippy, I'll be right back. When I get back, I promise you can read my mind too. And Skippy's just like, okay. And so Javert just kind of goes next to you. It's this way, come on.
Well, I have to go with them. It was a pleasure meeting you all, and I hope you all have learned a lot, and I will see you guys later.
Yeah. Oh, you know whose memory we should read? They just like start talking to each other. We should read. We should read Lara's. Yeah. Oh, now I know why she called herself Lara. That's her name. And they're like,
Laura, do you have another friend here? Oh,
ah.
there they go.
They just start wanting. Ah. Yeah, that's what she called herself before she went crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, her hands turned into those knife thingies, those pointy thingies. Those, you called it a sword.
Uh-oh.
She was always crying.
oh yes. Laura.
Yeah, she
Well,
used to be. She used to know things, and then she said we were strange. And one day she cut me, and I was, I. This is Stone talking, and then we just kind of like never went back to see her because every time you'd go near her, she tried to like get at you, and then she'd cut you.
hmm,
I,
maybe.
uh,
Interesting.
anytime.
I'm gonna look at Duncan and then turn my head to Telwyn and Rocky. Interesting. Seems like this was a very nice friend of theirs.
I don't know if she was a friend. She didn't like it when we looked in her head. I remember I tried, and then she cut me after that. I looked in her head.
Hmm.
I remember seeing Sad and people walking around in here, but I've never seen those people walking around in here.
It must have been hard for her, though, to have swords for hands. It shouldn't have, I don't think it was easy.
Now that you mention it, she did seem to have friends, and then was sad that they were gone, and then she also went crazy and then turned into that thing.
Yes, I wouldn't worry about this woman. She seems like she was crazy. She probably didn't like you. You should probably stay away from her.
Well, now that we know about this, we can ask her permission. Come on, let's go. And then Amber just like turns to Stone and Skippy and like motions forward, and they like start heading off in that direction.
Don't forget to tell us where the treasure room is before you go.
That's what Javert's doing.
Javert's showing you. Stone, Amber, and Skippy are like heading off in the direction of what you can perceive to be the lady that was crying in that one room that had the blades for arms.
Gonna walk past Duncan, just keep eye contact with him, and just keep walking.
Javert just kind of stops at this pillar, and kind of like crouches behind it, just like kind of peeking out, looking at. You could see once again the giant statue kind of in the back central area. It's just this giant, tall statue with a cloak made from like some kind of fabric, but you can see it looks like it's made from like various pieces of cloth stitched together, and the face itself seems, it's a bearded face, but the eyes are blindfolded. I don't remember if I described it very well in detail or not before, but it seems to have four arms, two of them kind of pointing forward, kind of like what looks like very similar to like a gesture, like a monk gesture, Mountain, kind of like in a gesture of like contemplation. The other arm, one like another arm, kind of hangs to the side, and another arm is holding a staff as well. So four arms in total on the statue. And then Amber Stone and Skippy just kind of head down the corridor. Okay, and then Javert just kind of looks at you, Duncan, and he points at the statue. That's the statue. Right beyond it, and he points to like the right of it, behind it, so to like northeast of it, so like behind it and to the right. From here, I don't think you can actually see the doors,
Not really.
but he's pointing like behind it to the right. Beyond it lies the doors.
Thank you for your guidance. We'll attempt to be prudent when we cross its path, but I think that what we seek is in there. Do you have any guidance for getting past this thing without rousing its suspicion?
Could try sneaking by it. So, Rocky, are you going like up to the statue?
No, I didn't mean to.
Oh.
I was just trying to find him to make sure it's in place.
Okay. So besides the statue, you can also see, so there's four pillars in the room, kind of like going all the way up to the ceiling up ahead, which goes for like hundreds of feet actually. You can also see, it looks like there's a bit of like crumbling stone that has landed on the ground over here. There's also an opening to the north of you. It looks like it opens up into a room on the left side of the statue. And from, so Rocky, if you want to be like behind the pillar with them, they're like right over right now.
Right, sorry. Yeah, that's perfect.
We should probably get Telman up here too.
Yeah, I have no idea where you guys are. I missed interesting things.
I'll move you up where everybody is.
It's alright, we encounter these one-eyed things that like to read people's minds, and we trick them into telling us where the treasure room is.
Not really tricked them. You kind of just asked them.
I just like the fact that they didn't understand the concept of asking permission.
I know.
Okay, so yeah. So there's the statue kind of in the center here, up to the north. And then on the left side of it, it looks like there's a bunch of crumbled stone and then an opening into some kind of room. And then where he was pointing you was to the right side of the statue, and he said beyond there should be the room that you need to go, beyond the doors. He doesn't really know, he's never been up to the doors themselves, because he says when people try to go that way, the statue just kind of like tries to smash you. And that's pretty much all the
Rocky will
information.
shrug
That's
and
pretty much all the information he's given.
Rocky will shrug and then nudge Duncan and cover his eyes and give him a little question mark or a little questioning glance.
So what does everybody want to do?
Thank you very much for the information, Javert. You think we're all done here, but it was a pleasure meeting you, and
Yeah.
thank you again.
Thanks for the memories.
Anytime.
Can I maybe have one more before I go?
Sure.
You can have one of mine, I think. Can you read minds?
I cannot do that.
Oh,
That's something very special that you can do, though.
That's strange. I thought everybody could read minds.
No.
Well, you should try and learn it someday. Okay. And he just like dives into your mind and tries to find something else.
Okay.
I don't know if you think of anything in particular that.
Probably not. I don't know.
I think he probably just like kind of like searches through and like he kind of sees like daily life at your monastery and just like kind of like the daily routines you would go through and things like that, people you would talk to, kind of like conversations and bit. Oh, there's a lot of bird people.
There are.
Well, I'm gonna go see the others and see if we can talk to Lara.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Hold on one moment.
Oh, yes. He kind of like he steps forward and then as soon as you like say one moment, he like kind of like stops like mid-step and like turns back and looks at you with like still one leg kind of in the air like he's walking forward.
You know, you've been so kind to us. Perhaps you'd like to read my mind as well.
Ooh. No, don't mind if I do. I couldn't read yours earlier.
I just want to, as soon as he says that, I just want to have Duncan focus extremely intently on an image of the other three killing Laura.
Oh.
Like, I just focus on it.
That's fucked up.
He looks at it. Oh. You hit her with the stab things.
No, the other three, like his friends.
Oh. Well, I hope she gets better. I'll go see if I can wake her up.
Yeah, so you run along now.
No, you met her.
Met who? I'll just pretend like I have no idea what he's talking about.
And he just like starts running off that way. Alright.
Best to keep all our bases covered.
Natalia and Maxime are just kind of like looking really uncomfortable right now. They look at you, Duncan. Natalia just kind of like, she stands like a little bit taller than you, Duncan. She just looks down at you and we let those things live?
Something that you must understand about adventuring, and that is we use every advantage that we can get. Those things, they pose no threat to us immediately. Wouldn't you agree, Mautan?
Oh, they're quite nice.
Yes, advantage is good, Natalia says. Halwa always says use the advantage in battle.
But we must be prepared. I fear that they may grow hostile to us yet, so we'll be sure to keep an eye on them.
But they are magic, no?
Doesn't mean that they can't be killed.
Magic evil, she says as she just kind of like fingers, like makes like a gesture towards her axe, like she just wants to like pull it out and chase after it.
Duncan will do just like his best understanding of their warding sign. Yes, evil.
Yes. And she kind of like spits down to the ground and kind of stomps on the spit.
Duncan will look to Rocky. Do you have any way of getting behind that statue?
Rocky cocks his head to the side and thinks for a moment, and then covers his eyes, and then makes a little pff sound, and then looks at you curiously, thinking if you think that'll work.
I think it will.
Rocky nods, and then I will spend 2 points to cast Darkness. Well, I'll spend 2 key points to cast Darkness on the statue.
Okay. So how far does the darkness extend?
Hey?
Yeah, how far does darkness extend? It's like 30 feet?
640. Just kidding, give me a second. 15-foot here.
Okay, so you just kind of want to cast it around the head?
Yeah, now is it the statue here on the left that they're worried about, or this big boy right
They're
here?
worried about the big, huge one in the center.
Yeah, it's in his fluffy little fist.
Alright, so 15-foot radius, you said?
Yeah, of my choice. It'll be right on the head, 15 feet around.
Alright, did that work?
Yeah.
Okay, so for all intents and purposes, you can see through this, Rocky. I just have the lighting set up so that it's darkness right there. But for all intents and purposes, you could see the statue. Everybody else just sees like a set area of darkness right there. Even if you shine the light through, it doesn't pierce through the darkness at all. And the statue is just completely hidden in this cloud of darkness that Rocky's just cast.
Sweet. All right, let's try and sneak past it.
Okay, are you guys stealthing or just walking normal?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stealth.
We should stealth.
Okay, so you don't have Pass Without a Trace on right now. That's up to you if you want to recast it or just go normal stealth.
I'm not gonna recast it unless asked. I'm pretty confident with what I did.
Okay, so everybody that wants to sneak past can roll stealth. So Telwyn, you with armor, that's still disadvantage. I'll have Maxime and Natalia roll stealths as well.
Yeah.
So that's 21 from Rocky, 7 for Duncan, 10 for Mountan. And then a 3 and a 7 from 3 from Natalia, 7 for Maxime, and then 4 for Telwyn.
You got this.
I thought about using Favored by the Gods, but I don't think it would increase that enough to really make a difference.
And which way are we supposed to go? This just straight ahead, or
They wanted
to
you to
the
go like this way,
that way?
over here.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll go across to the other pillar and then up.
Okay, so as you're moving forward, 1 second. As you move forward, everybody's kind of like stepping forward. There's bits of crumbled stone, and as you like step forward, you like hear like this crunching sound as you walk forward. And as you look down, you kind of like try and look down, see what's crunching as you guys are walking along. And you could just see strewn about this hallway now that you didn't quite notice before. It's just like bones scattered all about, bits and fragments of skeletons all lying around. Most of them look like they've been pulverized and smashed to pieces, kind of flung about the room. Some of them are just like turned into powder almost even. There's just like none of the skeletons are like fully intact. It just looks like they've all been blown apart by whatever has slammed into them. And as you're walking your way forward, you can hear this crumbling sound, like kind of like Rocky. It sounds like kind of like similar to the avalanche that you heard way back when in your childhood, your earliest memories. It just sounds like falling rocks. And as you look, you can see through the darkness the statue moving, all of a sudden its head turning and shifting its gaze down to Duncan and Moutan as they step forward, and Telwyn as she makes her way behind them, and also behind them Maxime and Natalia. Doesn't seem to have any awareness of you at all, Rocky, but it looks like it's just looking directly at the noise and the sound. And it's just, even though its eyes are covered, it looks like it's staring right at them. And it's beginning to move. You can see its arms lifting up, and the staff just kind of like holds itself up in a position. The arms kind of like move up, and you see they begin to make fists as they raise, the fists just raise above its head.
Rocky will hold a fist up and then cast silence with 2 more key points, right around his head, the creature's head.
Okay.
Wait,
So
is it?
Oh,
Hold on,
both of
hold on.
those are concentration.
I can't. I'll just hold a head up and then hiss and call to grab their attention. That let them know that sucker's about to get them.
yeah, at this point you guys can hear the sound coming from that area of darkness as you move forward. So are you let me see right here. One thing.
Wait, did darkness require concentration?
Yeah.
He can only have 1 concentration up in his
Yeah, that's
hand.
why he's not doing that anymore.
Okay.
Okay. You see, all of a sudden, out of the darkness, a fist slammed down, just a few, like, about 10 feet away from you guys. These fists just slammed down on the ground. A shockwave slams out. You can see, like, these arms just came right out of the darkness. Rocky, you just watch as the fists go up in the air, and he just kind of slams them down in the direction. Bits of bone, like, fly out like shrapnel all about, and you see him, like, moving, and he starts to, like, step down off his pedestal and begin moving over. What does everybody want to go ahead and do right now?
This is the part where we run.
Retreat.
Yeah, I want to dash for the door.
Yeah, likewise.
Same.
Okay, so everybody's starting to make their moves. I'm gonna have everybody once. Okay, hold on. Let me bring this up once more. I'm gonna have everybody go ahead and roll initiative as this goes through. Let me go ahead and clear the turns. Okay.
Man, I thought that in the darkness was a good move. I was hoping you wouldn't sense us.
I know.
We just had really crappy.
I felt
stuff.
absolutely certain that it had senses it could use.
Okay, so let me get this to send. Okay, so it looks like first up, Moutan. You go ahead and
I'm gonna-
dash.
Yeah, I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna use my fly speed because that's 50 movement, and I'll dash using that, so I'll be 100. Let me see if I can find. How do I measure? Do I use this ruler
Yeah,
thing?
so it should be the ruler thing.
Yeah. And then we're going towards this door.
Yeah.
I'll just fly up. And so I'm guessing this door's closed.
Yeah, it's currently closed, but that's
Cool.
seems to be the door that whatever Javert was pointing to for you guys to go to. Okay, anything
Cool.
else? Well, that was your dash. I don't know if you
Well,
have
that was a
anything else.
dash. No, I can't do
Alright,
anything.
so now it's the Maxime and Natalia's turn. They're gonna, I think, dash as well. Yeah, they'll go ahead and dash as well. Duncan, you're up.
So, okay, I see where they went. All right. Yeah, I guess I'll dash as well.
Okay, so now it is this thing's turn. So Rocky, you could see all this. Everybody else just hears like this crumbling sound of stone as it's trying to move around. What's his movement speed? Okay. So you can see part of it start to step out of the shadows, and it's going to start making slam attacks onto the ground here.
A question.
Yes.
Previously, when we've cast darkness, I can choose an area that it's cast on, and it stays with that area, like the werewolf fight. So wouldn't it be centered around its head?
Yeah, technically it would actually. So you just see this bit of darkness move with it. I think I can move the darkness with it.
Would that make an attack with disadvantage?
For him, no. He could see through this perfectly.
It doesn't even do anything?
Well,
Well, it'll impose disadvantage for us. But
yeah, you have disadvantage on hitting him, but he has a...
Yeah, I wouldn't say it does nothing.
He can... I'll just let you know that he could see through this.
Drop it, drop it.
He can drop it on his turn. But right now, he's going to, make an attack. From here, who can you reach? Well, first person in his range is Natalia. Oh god. Well, so he's going after her, not you guys right now.
She gonna die.
So it's a 13 and a 17 on her. Those will both hit her. So she takes the first one, kind of slams into her side. She gets knocked around, taking 17 bludgeoning damage. The second one connects into her other side, just getting knocked back and forth by these. You can see just blood oozing from her mouth as she just spits up blood as she takes 17 first damage and then 19 for the second attack. She's still up, but she looks very badly hurt. Okay, she does not have dark vision, blind sight, or true sight, so she's good. Okay. So, Rocky, you're up next.
Well, I'm gonna drop. First things first, I'm gonna drop that cell and run to the door. Let's see how I can get 20, 40. I can get close to it. Now, is this door locked?
Where are you moving to?
Sweden.
As you
Right there.
investigate it, yes, it does appear to be locked.
I would like to try to pick the lock.
Okay. I'll have you do a sleight of hand check.
13.
Okay, as you're trying to fumble her through, you kind of drop some of the lock picks as you're just looking back at this thing, just moving forward, just kind of slamming and pummeling these people. Not going to be enough to actually get the lockpick open. You're just kind of dropping pieces and fumbling around, kind of like almost in like kind of like a panic daze as this is happening.
I think that's it, but let me just double check super quick.
Oh wait, also I needed to roll something for Natalia after she got hit because she took both hits of the attack. She has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, that's all for my...
Okay, she got an 11 on that. Yeah. Since, well, this would have happened on that turn, so Rocky, you see her like, I don't actually, you wouldn't have noticed what happens here. But yeah, do you have anything
Yeah,
else,
I've got
Rocky?
one focus, and let's get the door open.
Okay.
That's it.
So tell when you're up. You see the darkness has dropped. Rocky is currently trying to open up the door from beyond. You see Natalia just getting slammed by the fists of this statue. Maxime's like trying to hold his ground up next to her. Duncan's right behind them. What do you want to do?
Have to try to do what's best for the group. So Talon is going to try to wave her arms, shout at the thing, get its attention, and use the dodge action to try to avoid getting hit.
Okay, are you just staying there?
She's going to be dancing around trying to draw its attention to her.
Okay.
And like I said, using the dodge action to try to avoid being hit.
Alright. Mount 10, you are currently up.
Alright, so the door is locked. Is there like... It's just like a keyhole, it's not like a padlock
Yeah,
or
it
anything
looks like
like
it's
that.
just like a keyhole into the room.
I don't think I have anything that can pick locks. Can't use like my bird talons to do that.
No. Tabaxi get that though, not Eric Cockra.
No. Yeah. Can I just search? Like, there's other bones on the floor here too.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Sarlacc pit, with just bones everywhere.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
Can I look
Smashed.
for a key?
Or not the Sarlacc pit, the Rancor pit.
Rancor? Yeah. Can I look for a key?
Yeah, you could try. Go and make an investigation check. There's a lot of bones everywhere. It's hard to see. There's just like skulls, rib cages, like bits of like femurs, and it's a mess.
Cool.
Anything else? Rocky, I'm gonna put you next to the door since technically you were trying to open it there.
Got it.
Do I have anything else I can do at the moment?
I don't know. Do you do anything else?
Nope, because that counts as an action, right?
I'll say that was a bonus action.
Then can I pick up like a small type bone that I think would be? Can I find like a small type bone that I could try to use to
Yeah.
insert in the
Yeah,
lock?
I'll go ahead and say you take your turn, like kind of grabbing for one of these bones, and you manage to find one that you manage to find one that you think might be serviceable a little bit. I'm gonna have you make an additional just investigation check just to see like if it's one that might be suitable, and that'll be your
Yes.
action for there. Okay. With a 15, you see one that seems like it could be serviceably manageable, so you manage to get that up. And next turn, you can go ahead and try and open the lock with that if you want. But do you have anything else you can do?
No, that'll be all.
Okay, so Maxime and Natalia are just kind of like standing the ground. Maxime just like looks at Natalia, who's just been completely battered by this thing. He lets out a shout just in his tongue. Charge forward and try and attack it, I think, actually, because that's what barbarians do. That's a 7, so that's not quite gonna hit. You see him raise his axe, and he just kind of slams into the side of it, kind of chipping his axe a little bit and dealing pretty much no damage at all. Natalia also gives it her best shot as well. That's a 15. That will actually hit. You see her kind of like chip into the side. It doesn't really seem to do a whole lot, but she does manage to like get a few chunks of rock flying from it. Not a whole lot, but did something.
I think we gotta go. We gotta go ham on this thing. We gotta kill it.
All right, Duncan, what do you want to do?
I will step around this pillar, take some cover. But I can still see it, obviously, and Duncan will fire a sharpshooter attack into it.
Okay, go for it.
And I'll add probably, if it hits, I'll add force damage to it as well.
That's
Yeah,
a
I'm
nat
gonna-
20, so yeah.
I'm gonna add like the full gamut of thumper charges here.
All right. All right, so 21 plus 5 piercing damage. You see this arrow just kind of like, you kind of try to find your aim. You see like a little chink and like a crack in some of the stone, and you fire for that, hitting into it. You see a huge chunk of rock kind of like fall off of it as your arrow pierces in. It did a whopping size of damage, not as much as like a nat fully probably should have done, but it did a huge chunk. But also, since it's a nat 20, I think I should double the force damage as well. And that seems to rock back in 2 and send bits of rock flying as well. And so he makes a dex save or knock prone.
And pushed back 10 feet.
Alright. Oh, you did both charges. Nice.
Yeah, I turned it up to 11.
Okay, let me check one thing here. Okay, so he's got to make a dex save. That's a 13. So he just makes it.
Oh.
Just barely. You see the force rock him back a little bit. He kind of like steps back, almost losing his balance for just a second, just barely losing his balance, and then he rights himself once more again.
And I will fire again.
Alright. 16 will still hit.
And I'll put another charge on that to add some force damage.
Alright, once again, you see another huge chunk get blasted off him. This one aims right into his shoulder. You could see bits of fabric get torn off because of this robe that he's wearing. You see it kind of pierce through into some of the rock, and you see more rock crumble and fall to the ground beside him, just like chipping away slowly at the formation.
You know, does he have any weapons? Is he holding any weapons?
He is holding a staff, it looks like.
Okay. I'm going to
He hasn't used it as a weapon at all, but he is holding a staff.
Okay, regardless, I'm going to use a disarming attack on him. It's part of, like, it's just like, if it hits, kind of, I'll post it, one sec.
Yeah, no, I know. So, one more to the damage.
I mean, he's probably going to beat
He's
it.
gonna make a-
DC 16 strength, we'll see.
I don't know, 16 is a pretty high save. Strength save? That's a 7.
He will drop his staff at his
You
feet.
see him let go. This giant stone staff just falls loudly to the ground beside him. You just see a wave of dust kick up, bits of bone fly everywhere as he just drops it. It's like a good, like, 15, 20 foot tall staff.
And with that, so I step behind the pillar for 5, I'm going to move, or sorry, for 10, I'm going to move back again.
Okay.
Should move up to here, I just want to be at a distance.
Alright. During all this happening, Duncan, you've been firing away at it, but all of us, and Telwyn, you start distracting it, trying to send it down. It's looking around right now. As it looks back, it sees Mount Tan and Rocky trying to like fumble through his lockpicks and get at the door. It kind of like looks sharply behind him, kind of pinpointing down on Rocky, trying to get in through the door. From what you remember, what Javert was saying, it guards that door, and it sees you now, Rocky, trying to get in at it. He starts to move forward, kind of stepping his way towards you. Natalia and Maxime are going to get opportunity attacks against him, but he's going to make his way towards you.
What about Telwyn? No opportunity attack?
He's currently, from you, he was about 60 feet away.
Ah, blast.
So, yeah, he goes up to you, Rocky. Let's see if Natalia and Maxime get their opportunity attacks. Oh.
I have the option. No. What the hell? He has a great axe. Come on, man. I would have knocked that out of his hand.
No, this is Maxime and Natalia.
Oh, my
Yeah.
bad.
So Natalia gets a 15, Maxime gets a nat 20 on his. So you see them just both hacking away at him. You see bits and pieces of the cloth of his robe getting shattered away, and they start getting down into like the rock beneath, chipping away at him, doing some damage to him. But he's still going, and then Rocky, he's going to go ahead and try and make both fists connect with you as you're trying to currently unlock this door that he's guarding.
Rocky says no.
So those are both 13s. I don't think those hit. Because your AC is what, 15?
My AC is 15. It does not
All
hit. Rocky says no and makes it so.
Both fists just kind of slam into the wall. As you see these fists coming at you, you just dodge to the side. The fist slams right into the wall. You can see just like this giant indentation get marked in there. The other one goes to the side and also hits the ground. You kind of like deftly move to the side as you just narrowly, as his fist connects where you just were. Another indentation in the ground as well. More bones flying everywhere. As he
Now,
tries to get
I
at you.
have a question. Because he's trying to like punch me into the wall or into the ground.
It just looks like he's trying to punch you in general wherever he can. The first one tried to like hit at you from the side and it just slammed into the wall. The second one he tried to just do a downward smash and just hit the ground where you were.
If it hits the wall, can I try to jump out of the way to get in the way of the doors?
I got this wrong completely. You have dark vision, right?
Yeah, I can see everything.
Okay. He unfortunately has advantage on you to hit you.
Because I can see him?
Because you have dark vision.
Even though it's like blind sight, true sight, and all that?
He has advantage on attack rolls against creatures with dark vision, blind sight, and true sight.
What the fuck?
It's his, like, you see like this glow come from the bandana around his eyes, and you see like this sharp gaze. You could feel it like hitting you as he like once again tries to like summon the urge to make his fists connect. So still, one of them misses, one of them will connect with you, dealing a total of 18 bludgeoning damage.
Or
And
not.
then the bandana around his eyes stops glowing after he makes that connection with you. But that's going to be his turn. Rocky, it's your turn again.
Should I try to just frantically open these freaking doors?
Up to you.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to open the doors.
Okay.
Let's fight him. Oh, fight him.
So it needs a sleight of hand check.
I would like to use a luck point.
Okay.
18.
Let me see. That is not going to be enough, actually.
Seriously?
So as you still try and you manage to get some of the locks, it looks like it's an intricate lock. As you try and you get like the first set of tumblers, and then it feels like you snap the wrong thing, and once more they just kind of shut back into place.
I like to use my bonus action to do Shadow Step to go like all the way fucking over here
Okay,
and away from this guy.
right, and that doesn't provoke opportunity attacks, right?
No, it does not. I don't believe.
You can do 60 feet with that, right? Yeah, that should be fine.
Yeah.
So you shadow step back into this alcove next to Duncan once more. Do you want to do anything else, Rocky, or can you do anything else? Because that was action.
I just want to
that
kind
was
of like
bonus
cry a
action.
little
Okay.
bit.
Telwyn, you're up. You're currently about 60 some feet away from him.
Yeah. Well, first I'm going to do a quickened cure wounds on myself.
Okay.
And then, because I can't have this thing attacking my murder bird, I am going to do Channel Divinity Sacred Weapon and charge this thing and attack.
Okay. So you can make it about right here. Or so.
Well, I can be working on it at least. So. Right there, you said? Is that correct?
Oh, like right here. Okay.
And I will roll for my hit points regained.
Okay. Mount 10, you're up. You just saw Rocky dodge a series of blows from this thing, take one hit, and then he just kind of boofed over to the side after trying to unlock the door further, but being unsuccessful.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, since all of these are like kind of super consecutive, what second are his arms still like down there, like moving away from his punching position or whatever?
Yeah, it's kind of like Shadow the Colossus style, where he like hits the ground.
Where he punched and then his hands kind of stay there for a little bit, and then he starts to bring them back up. Can I jump onto the arm and like run up it?
Yeah.
Like,
and then well, you're a monk with like flying, so you don't really have to make much of a check to do that since you've got like.
Yeah, and then like I'll use my wings to steady myself and all that.
Okay. Yeah, and like you can at this point in level you can like run up walls and stuff. So like, and he's basically just stone that you can run up. So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'm gonna run up the arm and just kind of.
If you weren't a monk, then no. But yeah, you're a monk.
No, yeah, I'm a monk. I'm gonna be running up with my wings kind of unfurled to like balance myself, and I'm gonna run up the arm and just kind of backwards kick at the chin.
All right, I like it. So roll for an attack.
Ooh,
23 will definitely hit. And your talons are magical, right?
yes.
Alright. So 23 and 23 both will hit as you just kind of like, you just do like a backward kick and you kind of like, first one foot connects with him, you kind of like connect with the jaw, you see it go upward. Second kick just kind of like slices across the side of the face and you see his head go to the side as he takes the second hit. For altogether total 16 damage. Do you want to do...
And then I'm gonna spend a key point Fury of Blows, so I'll do like a run up the arms, backwards kick, and then I'll extend my wings and like loop up, and then just kind of like fly down at him with both my fists and just do 2 more hits.
Okay, go for it. 18 and 19 both hit, so once more you just kind of like still keep connecting series of blows. You see bits of stone chip away and keep flying all over the place. You see like you're raking like your talons come out and you're just slashing stone right off his face, kind of like knife through butter. Your talons just rake through the stone itself as you do another further 18 damage to him. He's looking pretty bad. He's looking pretty bad with that right now, as you've just like chipped away all this stone from him. So we're gonna say like you're just like on top of him right now, right? Or like, do you want?
Yeah, I'm just like around like the face area. So like I ran up, backwards kicked, flew up, flew around, and then dove down and just did 2 slashes at him.
Okay. Maxime and Natalia's turn then. They're gonna run forward best they can. They should both be able to make it. And they're both going to make attacks on him. So 24 and 24, both of them are going to hit. As you see them just like continually chipping away, they kind of like are like doing like kind of like Ice Climber in Sync from Smash Brothers. They're just like kind of they're like comboing from like Marvel versus Capcom, just like together, like chaining together their hits as they're like chipping away together as like a team, like in synchronous, as a synchronous unit.
This is the worst because I always end up on the turn order right before the bad guys, and I have trip attack. Like, there's no point in me tripping him if he's just gonna get up like next turn. And this always happens. Like, I have such good single target control, and I just never get a chance to use it because everybody else's initiative is terrible.
Well, I mean, He has to
You
spend
can
half his
always
movement.
hold action. Go later in the turn.
Problem is though that I don't know if that allows me to do 2 attacks. I think I can hold an action, but I don't think I can. I'll be able to attack twice, so I'd lose damage.
Yeah, you don't get the multi-attack if you do that.
But, yeah, at least I'm not certain, and there's no guarantee that I'll cause him to trip. So it's not necessarily worth it. But I'll just fire some shots.
And also, Mountain's kind of currently like on top of him.
I'll add precision attack to that.
So 11. That's unfortunately not going to hit. Once more, you try and like steady your aim, and just for a second, you just kind of take one like a little bit of a step as you try to brace yourself and kind of crumple a bone under your foot. You kind of like lose your balance a little bit, and the arrow kind of goes wide.
I've been shooting like crazy. All right, one more time. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, all right.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, Mauton.
It actually goes forward, and you see the arrow just kind of fire off, and you realize too late that you aimed a little bit too low down, and you see it streak towards Natalia, and you see it kind of embed into her calf. She looks down at it, kind of like grasping at it in pain.
It's gonna do so much damage. It's a sharpshooter attack, you know?
Why did it have to be her? She has had such a bad time in this fight already.
You see what I mean? I'm gonna kill her.
You see it just hit her calf, and she just cries out in pain, and she's like trying to pull it out. Just blood soaking down her leg.
Ooh, I'm
she's
so
still
sorry.
up, though.
Okay, good. This is ridiculous. I'm the only one who has issues with this, by the way. I'm the only one who gets punished by firing into close combat. I'm just pointing that out.
The good thing about barbarians, though, is they just have like hit points for days because they have no armor. But now it's the Sentinel's turn. He's kind of like focused on like trying to get you off of his face, Mountain. At this point, you're just like dealing insane amounts of damage to his face, and he's like trying to get you off as best as he can. Yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and try and like make swipes at you. You don't have dark vision, blind sight, or true sight, do you?
I do not,
Okay.
and he has disadvantage.
That's right. So he takes a look at you. The bandana tries to light up, and you see it kind of like goes dull, almost like it's failing against him. As he tries to make these swipes at you, he's gonna do these with disadvantage. So here's his first attack.
Nice.
I'm gonna roll it twice. So that's a 12.
No.
Okay.
As my form just kind of Dragon Ball Z style kind of shimmers and goes to one side.
Okay, and then the second one is a 12.
Nope.
So no, these attacks, he's trying to like swat at you, and you're just like, just kind of like almost imperceptible at speed, just dodging out of all these attacks. Everybody that could see Mountain just sees like this, as the statue tries to go at him, you see Mountain blur, and you see almost like two images of Mountain just kind of like going back and forth as he's just like dodging in and out. Rocky, it's your turn.
Well, Rocky's a little butthurt right now, so he's going to teleport 60 feet right in front of this motherfucker. And that gives me, with using my Shadow Step, it gives me advantage on the first melee attack.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm going to attack twice with my nasty blood speed.
Yeah, that hits. Yeah.
13 and 8.
Yeah, the 18 definitely hits. So that's your advantage attack is 18. So you do a total of. Did you just roll twice for the damage?
No, I did one roll for each one.
Okay. Because technically your first one, because you wanted to do your
So the
multi-attack?
Yeah, so the first 8 is the first hit, and if it dies, it gets D6 temporary hit points. So just ignore the second number. That's what that is.
Okay.
And then I hit the 18, and that's the 4.
Okay. This one was just like your advantage hit, so it's just the 8 piercing damage right now. Because we were treating this as your advantage hit.
Oh, duh. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
but
an
you
idiot.
get
That's fine.
you get another attack. Is it only the first attack that gets advantage?
Yes, I believe so. Let me double check. Yeah, first melee attack to make before the end of the. Just let me attack again. Sorry.
Okay.
This one is 17.
17 will also hit.
For 6.
Another 6 piercing, and this is a magic weapon. So yeah, you kind of spin the staff, just kind of like twirling it in your hands, and just kind of like make 2 attacks against him. You see it kind of cut across his legs. Bits of rock just kind of fly about. He takes another further 6 damage from that second hit. He is still up. Do you want to do anything?
I'm going to use a key point and do flurry of blows.
Okay.
So that's 2 unarmed strikes.
All right. 8 is unfortunately not going to hit, but natural 20 will. All right. So once more, you kind of like swing wide on your first one, but all of a sudden you kind of like turn it into your advantage as you spin around mid-stance and just kind of like do a flip and twirl as you like kick out and hit him, as you see him kind of rock a little bit to the side, dealing a further 7 damage to him. He is looking very rough right now. Looks like he's like just barely standing. Telwyn, you're up.
Telwyn, smash! Me, Telwyn, king!
It is devoutly to be hoped. Okay, so I'm going to do a booming blade attack, and because I've got sacred weapon going, add 3 to the attack roll.
Okay. Let me just make sure you can get in range. Yeah, if you get like right here, you should be good.
Right there?
He's right here, so if you move forward one more. Yeah. That is 7 unfortunately is not going to hit as you try to rush forward, swing the blade.
Well, it's actually a 10, but whatever.
Yeah. 10 still unfortunately doesn't hit. As you swing the blade out, it doesn't quite connect as he's still kind of rocking, kind of off his balance, and you kind of like just misjudge where he's going to be.
Okay, so let's try a quickened... let's do a quickened sacred flame.
Okay. So, dex save from him?
Yes. DC 14.
DC 14, dex save, let's go. 16.
Okay.
So you see the flame, he just kind of like still is rocking to the side. The flame just kind of arcs over to the side and slams against the wall. So we're gonna go to Mountain.
I'm gonna keep up the assaults, just so yeah, I just kind of dodge past all those things, and then I'll let's see if I hit before I start describing what I'm doing.
15 will hit, and 18 will also hit. So
Okay.
you do 6, and okay, with both of those hits, how do you want to do this?
So, yeah, he just started punching, and on the last one, I'm gonna grab onto like the wrist and like swing around on it and kind of ride it into his face, like land on top of it and kind of use it like a surfboard motion, like into his face, and then just kind of jump into the air and just do one last like talon slash against him.
Okay, so just kind of like God of War style, you just kind of like continue like climbing up around him, and as his fist is trying to connect with you, you kind of catch onto it and kind of like swing around it, making like a little circle motion, just swinging circular wise around and riding the fist down, causing him to punch himself right in the face. You could see his head kind of disconnect, and you see bits of cracks go along the neck itself as the head just kind of like disconnects and fall down. As it's starting to like make its final crack, you take your final, you go forth with your claws once more, strike at the neck, kind of furthering the crack in there, kind of severing the head completely, and the head just falls to the ground. and just crumbles into dust below him. And the statue just kind of like tilts to the side. Everybody kind of like dodges out of the way as he just falls down and just crumbles into pieces.
And then once he's kind of finished collapsing and the dust is settling, we'll just kind of slowly descend onto one of the broken pieces of rock. And then, yeah, kind of wipe
Rocky
off.
hisses at it.
Oh, well, that was exciting, I think. And hop off the rock.
Okay. And as you hop off the rock, you see that a bit of his cloak seems to like burn away in like this strange dust fashion, but a small piece kind of like floats to the side next to you and just kind of lands gently on the ground.
Does it look important or
I mean, if
anything?
you could pick it up and
Pick it up?
yeah,
Yeah.
take a look at it. It looks like it seems to be kind of like directions. It looks like it's like the canvas of a map of some kind. And as you look through it, the way the layout is, you can see that it shows something you haven't seen in, well, when did you last leave Dominaria?
Like right before I came here?
Yeah, so it hasn't been actually that long.
No.
So you recognize this as an area of Dominaria that you're from, a map of some kind leading to one of the spired cities within Dominaria. It looks like it's marking an area on there of some kind. Seems kind of an area that you used to visit actually regularly. It seems to be marking something of importance there, and as you look at it, you realize this is around the same area that you lost your friend some time ago. And as you look at this, words seem to appear before you in your native language, Mautan. And it says, "Seek what you have lost. You will find it again." Or, sorry, it says, "Seek one you have lost. You will find them again." And then as you read the words, they slowly fade back into the map itself and disappear from sight, but the map remains marking off the area around where that accident happened all those years ago.
For just the briefest moment, Mautam, like a flash of emotion in Mautan's eyes before he quickly shuts it down and stuffs the map or what the map into his satchel. Well, why don't we keep moving?
What did you find?
Nothing important. I don't think. Trickery. Now, Rocky, you're good with lockpicks, right?
Rocky nods and tries to pick the lock.
Okay. So, Rocky, you go forward. You attempt to start picking through the lock. What does everybody else want to do at this point?
I guess I'll just wait by.
Well, we still haven't found the thing that the Taroka reading said that we should find here. So I guess Telvin will start idly sifting through rubble looking for it.
Is it possible that those creatures know where the key is?
I would like to know.
Maxime and Natalia look up. You can see Maxime's kind of like currently bandaging Natalia's wounds up as best he can, and he looks up. You think creature knows anything?
I mean, they have to know something. I'm sorry about the arrow, by the way.
Natalia just looks at you and just kind of goes, "Strange tactics, you."
Rocky will go up to Natalia and cast a healing light on her. Just to give a prayer to Desna. That's a d6 of healing.
She sees the light come from you and kind of is like a little bit wary at first, but then as the healing energy goes through you, through her, she kind of looks up at you. You, shaman?
And Rocky will play you, and then in Desna's voice, just say Rocky.
Rocky.
Then give a bit of a shrug.
Shaman. And she kind of like clasps you on the arm, and she clasps you on the arm, and she goes forward and just kind of like gives you like, it's not like super hard, but it's a little painful of a headbutt. And she just looks back at you, I guess, and gives you a nod with a smile.
Rocky will return the gesture,
You headbutt her back.
keeping his beak out of the way. Yeah, dude.
Okay, she takes it and she looks at you and she's like, yeah, and she nods her head and she's like smiling with glee now.
And he'll nod and clap her arm like she did his, and then try to fucking lock again because I can't roll for shit.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. This is a pretty hardcore lock. You keep trying to get at it. It doesn't seem to be making any progress to trying to open it.
At this point, Rocky just starts punching the door.
Okay.
And then he'll try to unpick it one more time. But I'm gonna roll two strikes if that's okay.
When you punch it, just make an athletics check when you punch it. Okay. You manage to you could feel it kind of like make way against your fist, but it still stays lodged firmly closed. What does everybody else want to do?
I love how the moment I roll something without a buff, I get an 18, and if I roll something that I have like proficiency in with a 6, I get a freaking 11.
I'm just leaning against this wall, very distracted.
And Maxime will also go up. You also see now coming back from that hallway, Javert. She's asleep right now. I heard noises from here, and he looks around and sees just like the crumpled statue just in pieces everywhere. You broke the statue.
We did more than that.
More? What did you do? Tell me.
We destroyed it. It's not just simply broken. It no longer has life.
Oh, now it won't smash everyone anymore. It won't smash my... And he kind of like searches for the word and looks at you, Mountain. It won't smash my friends anymore. Oh. And then he like picks up one of the bones. This one was one of my friends. And he just like kind of keeps the bone and just holds it as...
You know, Javert, maybe it's fortuitous that you showed up when you did. We're having quite a difficult time getting into this room, and we were wondering if you knew the location of a key.
My last roll was a 21, by the way.
Sleight of hand? Okay. With that, as he's asking Javert for the key, you hear a click, and the doors start to, with a large groan, start to open inwards, as you can see a room beyond.
Rocky makes the happiest bird noises you can imagine.
Yeah, you've made it there. The DC was exactly 20 on that.
Cheese and crackers.
So, in this room here, you could see just piles of what looks like treasure just heaped against the west and east walls of this room. There's just like more than you could like even count or like even hope to hold in here. There's just like piles of gold, jewels, goblets, ingots, treasures of all kinds. There's weapons that you could see in here, all kinds of things as well, just all piled up in this room. And then beyond it you see this crack in the wall, kind of like a fissure is opened up, and you could see beyond it there seems to be like another room back there. And with your vision you can kind of see like there's boxes and stuff in the room beyond. The hole in the wall is about 5 feet wide, so it's like, or not 5 feet, it's more like 4 feet wide or so. Like, it's a bit of a squeeze, but you could like make your way through there.
Rocky will ignore the treasure for right now and bamf in there and see what he can see.
Duncan will scan the treasure and look for amazing things.
Okay, so as you all enter into this treasure room, and Maxime, Natalia, and Javert follow you, they're just kind of awestruck looking around at all the treasures. Rocky, you bamf into this room full of boxes, and you can see all 1, 2, 3. There are about 6 boxes altogether in this room, and you can see also 3 more pillars of amber. Just like looks like there's a strange like floating wispiness inside of them, but other than that, they're just like these large bricks of amber that you can find inside. You also see like a golden, like inlaid with gold, a marble staircase hugging the north walls. It kind of spirals upwards into a room up above.
I would like to have Tilwyn specifically search for the thing the Taroka reading referred to.
Okay. The walls of this room, Rocky, are kind of sculpted out of that amber, but they look like they are sculpted to look like tentacles entwining around these statues of kings, queens, pharaohs, sultans, attended to by a myriad of different slaves of some kind. Like they're just like gesturing, offering like offerings and plates of food to these pharaohs, these kings all around.
Interesting. I'll kind of move towards the center of the room, but keep my eye on this fissure right here. Just to make sure I have an easy exit. But kind of peek around and see what I can find out.
Okay. So everybody that wants to make some investigations can go ahead and make investigations for their specific things that they're looking for.
And I'm gonna have to head off. I'm getting pretty close to.
Yeah, I'm about to end it in just a bit.
Fast now.
I would like to add Favored by the Gods to mine.
Okay. But did you want to do anything else in this room, Rocky, or no?
Not for right now. I kind of want to get my bearings in here before I start going too far ahead.
Okay. And around the rest of the room, everybody starts to look around. There's lots of treasures, and you start to sift around, looking through all these things. And as you are looking through, you'll find like various baubles. There's lots of treasure in here. There seems to be staffs, weapons of all kinds. When finally, Telwyn, you kind of notice something glinting, kind of catching your eye, and you hold it up, and it looks like this silver pendant of some sort. It looks like almost a sun, but it's made out of silver, and in the center inlaid is this red jewel, and it just kind of sparkles and shines before you. And as you hold this up, you notice bits of the treasure pile that you've pulled this from begin to kind of move about and kind of start connecting together. You can see like various like swords that have been piled up against the wall kind of like stack and stick against another sword, and like bits of like gold and silver kind of like start fusing together until you see like this jumbled pile of treasures just kind of like floating before you, and it just kind of floats in front of you. And right around there, that's where I'm going to end the session.
Okie doke.
You got die.
Some powerful mystical object. Just don't let it ruin our treasure. We need this.
All right, friends. I'm out.
All right. And that's where we're gonna end. Thank you all.